Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Taberry here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says,
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and, Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
Oh, baby, let's do it live on the first Friday. If you're Uncle Bo, get out of town first Friday. It's hard to beat to get out of town first Friday, but I'm going to give you, at the very least, a B-plus effort today. Yesterday was a C+, B-. I'm hoping for a B+ effort today. We're going to have a lot of fun, have some fun with the brackets. Day 2 of Ohio State football practice in the spring is today. We'll get into that a little bit. Jake Trotter going to join us at 10:30. It is a Hey Guys First Friday. Still time to get your questions into the fellas at 971-BFS or in the YouTube chat. You can do it there, too. The winner there gets the $50 gift card to our great friends at High Bank. Then Adam Finkelstein will join at 11:30 on the brackets. I think I am a pretty, by and large in life, measured man. I think I'm large, pretty easygoing, pretty straightforward, not too many highs and lows. Keep it steady between the navigational beacons. Not a lot of bobbing and weaving. Just steady as we go. With one exception: air travel. Air travel puts me in a mental place that it's very difficult for me to even. I function, I think, at a high level. Sometimes I'm capable of a great many quick thoughts quickly, i.e. getting the last SUV at the Newark airport a couple of years ago at spring break and driving to Ohio, realizing that I simply was not going to get on a plane with 5 people anytime soon after our flight was canceled. So every once in a while there are wins, but there have been so many losses in air travel that the amount of things that I do and the expenses that I go to make it as clean and as smooth and seamless a process as possible. And even if I do all of these things, I know that it still could go to hell. So, for example, I don't park at the airport anymore. We go driver. There's an expense to that. I get it. It doesn't even make sense financially. I get it. But I cannot worry about not knowing if there's a parking spot in the garage that I want to park in or in another spot I want to park in. So, driver's set up. Now, we fly tomorrow at 7 a.m. I got a message from the driver saying he has to drop off another family at 4:40. Now, we live about a half hour from the airport. He has to drop off another family at 4:40. Then he's coming straight to get us. Okay? Flight leaves at 7. So that means if all goes very smoothly, he should be around 5:15. He'll be here, which then means we should be there around 5:50. Which is an hour and 10 minutes of lead time for a 7 a.m. flight. Boarding begins at 6:20. You've got gates closed at 6:45. So at the very least, you have got to be at the gate by 6:45. Now, there are other things and measures I have taken to make this go smoothly. We are all TSA pre. The whole family's TSA pre. Remember, Reese, in the old days, my wife wasn't, and I would make her go to her own thing. Like, I'm not going there with you. Everybody can do TSA pre. You've chosen not to. Me and the boys are going through. I wish you luck down in steerage. I'm not doing it the other way. The other thing I've done is I have clear. So the whole family has clear. So we have clear and we have TSA pre. So we should be the fastest people through security on a spring breaky weekend as you're going to get. We're also flying 2 days ahead of what I would assume is peak spring break, but my hunch is everybody is flying 2 days ahead because as a drop-off line at the school today appeared to be about 28 kids going to school. Felt like everybody's pulling the same thing I'm pulling. My question is an arrival of 5:50 for a 7 a.m. flight enough of a grace period?
Not for me. I'm 90 minutes at least.
Oh, God.
And the
now
thing
you have these other things that I have.
Right.
These other
I have
Cheat codes.
it's usually myself and my partner, and she's just as anal as I am. So we're very much in lockstep and getting there is usually 2 hours, 90 minutes we're still feeling a little bit nervous, especially on days we know there's going to be an excess of travel. And like you mentioned, cheapest flights, Thursdays for spring break the following week. I would, as soon as I get that message back from the driver saying, I've got another family to drop you off, I would have texted him back or replied, you don't have us to worry about anymore, because I'd have found another one.
I know it, but now I got to scramble. This guy's been my guy for a while. Like, can I trust Uber on a pickup at 5 a.m.? Like, is that trustworthy?
I've never had a problem that early when I've used an Uber to go to the airport.
But you schedule it, Bake?
I've scheduled it once, but I found sometimes it might be more expensive, but I don't think you're worried about that, so you could schedule it. I don't think you're going to have a problem with an Uber that early on a weekday.
I don't think so either. And I would trust Uber more than the scenario you laid out, because the scenario you laid out makes it very tight. And I don't just mean the time window. I'm clenched the whole way.
I'm already nervous.
Right.
I've already got
I can feel
check-in notifications. I've done so many things. I mean, I've checked in that we have no bags to check. Everyone's carry-on. We've got the TSA pre. We've got the clear. You should just walk right on. You should, theoretically. But there is very little margin for error here, kids.
Especially with, and the scenario could be different wherever you are doing your spring break travel. So anybody hearing my voice with this could not be experiencing what's going on right now at John Glenn, is they're doing a complete overhaul, a parking garage, I think a terminal renovation. So that extra construction in the morning would leave me extra clenchy. So if there is construction, if you know that's going to be a possibility you run into, and then it's a 2-hour minimum. I feel like I'm not helping.
No, it's
and I'm
it's
sorry.
It's a realization of what I know. In my head, I know this isn't going to work. It may work, but it would have to be seamless. I mean, it would really have to be. If they have everything ready to roll, if now the problem is that on a Thursday, a spring break Thursday, like the TSA pre-line is probably going to stretch 7 miles because most people I mean, how many people do you guys have it? Do you have TSA pre now?
I don't have it, but every time I've gone in the last year to John Glenn, the line's been really short.
Yeah, I do not have it, but and I wouldn't be nervous if I were you guys. I'm just not that person, I guess. But I also. I love airport beers and airport food, so I don't mind getting there early and hanging out. And
have you listened to any of the conversation?
I know.
I've got a party of 5.
I understand.
If you miss a flight with 5 people, you don't have a spring break. Like, there is no rebooking. It's done. Like, you're not getting on another flight ever with 5 people. With 1 or 2, fine. With 5, you miss a flight, forget it. Forget it. Stay in Ohio. Enjoy it. It's going to be dreary and 50s next week. Great. Fantastic. That's where we're at. I don't know. I just think we're cutting it way too close. My wife is leaning. She says we'll be fine. The driver, who we've known for years, says you're going to be fine. I am nervy already. So this will be a nervy program for you today. We're going to do our best. We'll have some fun along the way. I think that if I am there, if I can truly be at drop-off at 10 to 6 for a 7 a.m. flight, it should be a walk right on, boys, away we go. We're not checking bags. We should be fine. We'll hope for the best. March Madness is here. I guess Carolina kind of proved their point last night. Pretty dominant effort out of them as they advanced. You had a thriller in the first one, Alabama State. 2.7 seconds left, tie game. I watched that one and won it at the buzzer. That one was a lot of fun. You got 2 tonight as well, as you have who's American? Who's MSM?
Mount St. Mary's.
Is it Mount St. Mary's playing American at 6:40, and then Xavier in Texas playing in the 9:10 window there. Stand by what I've been saying. Alabama State, St. Francis, Mount St. Mary's, American. They should all be in, and this should be bubble teams playing. It should be Ohio State and Indiana and Boise State and West Virginia making up the other spots, and Winners are 11 seeds, and away you go. That, to me, is what this thing should be. I don't think you should punish these teams that are automatic qualifiers. So, been saying that for about a decade. Others have been saying it for a decade with bigger reaches than me, and there doesn't seem to be anybody at the NCAA who listens to a damn bit of it. But it was a thrilling game in the first one with Alabama State winning. All right. Oh, and did I see this too in the prep? We've got a statewide tornado drill today. Is that
9:50? Y'all been warned.
When is the weekly? When we lived in Marble Cliff, the Arlington one's is it 10 o'clock
Wednesdays at noon?
Noon.
Yeah.
Noon Wednesdays. Yeah. So all right. So this will be a 9:50. So. Just a drill. You've been warned. Prepare and act accordingly. All right. Lots to get to on the program. Lots of fun along the way. I promise you a B-plus effort. At worst, a B-plus effort on a Get Out of Town First Friday. Get your Hey Guys questions in. We will get to those coming up at 11 o'clock. Winner gets that $50 to our great friends at High Bank. We're off and running on a First Friday Miracle Edition. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall, and it is my time of year. And when it comes to college basketball and March Mania, you got to expect one thing: the unexpected. Buzzer beaters, upsets, last-second miracles, blue bloods being toppled. It's all going to happen, so bet the unexpected. Every upset every day with DraftKings Sportsbook. With live betting, exclusive content, promos, and parlays, DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. First time, here's something special. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TheFan971. That's code TheFan971. And new customers get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Ohio only. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Hi, Kevin. How's my engine doing?
Well, you tell me, little lady.
What?
Ma'am, an engine is delicate. It's got a lot of parts rubbing together.
Oh, is that so?
Lube her up real nice, and she'll purr like a kitty cat.
How do you know so much about engines?
Well, I spent a lot of time under that hood.
Babe, she is running hot. Let's go. And next time, I get to play the mechanic.
Rev up the romance with Lion's Den, the official store of pleasure, passion, and romance.
Common Man here for Weed Man. I always have the greenest lawn in the neighborhood. It's luscious. I swear by two things: water and Weed Man. Weed Man is locally owned and operated by Corbin and Audrey. They will make sure your lawn is weed-free and looking gorgeous. Of course, they get rid of weeds, but they also do aeration, mosquito control, grub control, crabgrass prevention, and flea and tick control for your four-legged friends. For a free quote, give them a call, 614-733-3747, weedmanusa.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
That's the sound of a Mountain Dew. And that's you enjoying its refreshing citrus kick. That's a cool breeze suddenly whistling through your hair.
Whoa!
That's you realizing you're now on a mountain.
This is epic!
That's you stating the obvious. That's you stepping up to the plate. That's you winning your kickball game. That's you taking another sip of your Do the Do.
Promo West Productions and Bud Light present 311 live in concert. The Unity Tour 2025. August 24th, Kimba Live Outdoor. With special guests, Bad Flower and Sitting on Saturn. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at AXS.com. Brought to you by Bud Light and Promo West Productions. The Fan has been ranked as the second best sports station in America by our industry peers. A heartfelt thank you is in order. But we're not doing it because we're better than that hillbilly Birmingham station that came in first. Thanks for nothing.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move, a pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Some foot issues just can't be fixed by those expensive shoe stores or shoe inserts. A foot exam from a doctor of podiatric medicine, who is the medical expert in foot and ankle care, may give solutions after doing a complete foot examination. If you suffer from foot, heel, or ankle pain, let us help you find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association so you know you are being treated by the very best. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A red flag warning has been issued for parts of southeast Ohio today. Gusty winds could cause any sparks or flames to get out of hand. It'll be cloudy and windy, winds up to 35 miles per hour. Today's high around 72. It'll be cloudy and rainy tomorrow, highs in the 40s. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robeshad with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. If you say something with enough confidence, it must be true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And hey, it's your Uncle Bo. Are you sick of the Ohio winter weather? Gosh, I know I am. Spring camping is almost here, and the deals are blooming at RCD RV. From March 15th to the 29th, take advantage of our spring savings event. Over 800 new and pre-owned RVs in stock and ready to go. If you're sick of being stuck in the house, let us help you plan a springtime adventure. New travel trailers starting as low as $12,995. Campers for every single budget. Visit our locations: Delaware, Heath, and Pataskala. Shop online anytime at rcdrv.com. Don't wait. RCD RV is your destination for springtime adventure. I missed this flight. I'm just driving up there and picking one up and going. That's what's happening.
I was just about to say,
That's what we're doing.
Want to just go across the country?
That's what I'm doing. Getting a family truckster and I'm gone. Go see my guys.
Have you ever driven from Montana to Ohio?
I've driven from my dad twice did. I've driven from Montana to Florida.
How long was that?
The first day we got as far as, it's crazy. Like we drove all day. And the first day we got to Mitchell, South Dakota. That's as far as you could get in a whole day, like 13 hours of driving, and we were still in South Dakota. And then the second day, I want to say we got to just outside of St. Louis. And then the third day, we got to just outside of Birmingham. And now this was like me, my brother, parents, because we had a bunch of stuff that my stuff was coming down too. So it was not like we could go, we weren't the bandit, eastbound and down. So it's not like we were doing that, but at the same time, yeah, it took a while. And I want to say when my dad drove, it took 3 days to get here. But I mean,
the Duttons go from Montana to Texas in like an episode. So I just assumed it would be easy
to get there. Yeah.
Yeah, not the case.
Ryan, with this, let me get this straight. You're showing up at the airport with a family of 5 at spring break, roughly an hour before the flight leaves. Bold move, Cotton. Now, I have the TSA pre and the clear stuff, so I should just zip right through. Theoretically, Sean, with this, we fly to Columbus tomorrow. You're making me nervous about your travel plans.
Yeah, like John Glenn's a mess right now.
It's a mess,
and
man.
Obviously, you understand the mess because they're trying to transform it into the airport of the future, but a mess is a mess, and you got to tack on at an airport an hour for a construction mess, in my opinion.
I think you're probably right. Hunter, with this, I think you need to bite the bullet, drive yourself to the airport, park in the smart garage, get there when you want with no variables. My only suggestion would be to valet at the airport. Game changer. Not that crazy of pricing. You just pull up and go. Okay, well, that's on. Maybe there's something there.
I've never done it. Must be nice.
I've never done that either. That must be nice. This one from Gregory. I only got part of this one on email regarding your drive to the airport. Drive yourself. Use the parking spot. They have a van following you to your parking spot, take you directly to the ticketing area, secured area. You reserve your times. They have an online app to reserve and pay. I use them all time flying out of CMH.
So I've used the parking spot before, and that's fine. I just now, after Ubering a couple times, I realized if at John Glenn, I use the green lot. Just parking for a week there is as cheap as an Uber to and back. So I just go and park in the green lot. They've got shuttles to the airport. It doesn't bother me at all.
But this is the thing with comparing, because I also do that every time I fly to John Glenn. I just park at the lot, and I don't have anybody. There's another person usually. But to wrangle a family of 5 from the spot to the spot where the bus picks you up, onto the bus, and then off the bus with everything.
No, that's the family of 5 part is the deal. Now, again, we have all of the things that you can do to make it speedy. I'm interested in this valet situation. That might be I wonder if I can reserve a valet spot or if there's a maximum that they can take. Because if that sucker's open, I'll be there at 5 a.m. and we'll be ready to go. I mean, that's how that'll go. I need to look into the valet. That's going to be the thing we got to do here. So we had the 2 playing games last night, 2 more playing games today. This was, I think back to my youth, and I think that March Madness was probably the sporting event that I loved the most. There was something about spring kind of starting to happen in Montana, much as it is here now, where you get a couple of good days, then it'll be a little bit colder, but hopefully the good days time out with the games, because what you'd want to do is watch the games and then go play. You're inspired to go play hoops, so you wanted to go play hoops. That's it. And the amount of times when I was a kid pretending to be Danny Manning or Sean Elliott or somebody else from those late 80s, early 90s when I was really young, those were some of my favorite and most fondest sports memories were from that. As I've said before, my mom would let me take off 1 day of school a year, no questions asked, and it was always the Thursday or Friday of March Madness. Like, this would be the one that I would do. I'd get yourself a nice pizza, and you'd sit there and just take it all in all day long. In those days, you couldn't watch every game. You watch the games that were fed to your region, and then they would send it to the great Greg Gumbel. By the way, incredible tribute to him on the bracket show on Sunday. They showed to Greg Gumbel. Probably in those days, maybe even Pat O'Brien. Pat O'Brien could have been in the mix as one of the guys they sent to there. So they would send it to the studio, and then they would take you to another game, and you'd see the end of it, and you'd get these incredible finishes. The first memory that I have of March Madness was when Villanova beat Georgetown, shooting what felt like 80% from the field. And Georgetown was this behemoth, and Villanova beat them. There's been so many, though, that I remember from that point on. I remember rooting. It's funny, like I had no ties to Ohio at all, but I remember rooting just absolutely against Indiana. I just could not stand Indiana basketball. Just couldn't stand it. I got to interview Bob Knight a couple of times, and he was pretty fun. Even ended up pheasant hunting at my uncle's house in Montana later in life. So it was something that kind of was surreal that we ended up not liking him at that time. But there was something about these runs. And I remember Danny and the Miracles with Kansas in '88 and this improbable run. They were tied 50-50 with number 1 seed Oklahoma at half. They had played a bunch during the regular season, and Kansas ended up winning that game. Danny Manning had one of the great tournaments in the history of the tournament. But there are all of these memories that come with these brackets. And college basketball's changed a lot. You don't have guys like Danny Manning staying at a place for 4 years. You don't have this situation where you have guys 3 and 4 years. Christian Laettner played 4 years at Duke. It felt like you watched 100 Christian Laettner games in the early 90s. Because you did. They went deep runs in the NCAA tournament every year that he was there. And then for us, I think for most people around here, there are a couple of things that you remember. You remember the Jimmy Jackson game that got to a regional final. You remember Scooney and Mike Redd in '98 getting to a Final Four. You remember Connolly and Oden very well, and that run all the way to a national championship game. And then you probably remember, obviously, very well the run to the Final Four in 2012 that culminated with a loss in the Final Four to Kansas, but had a great run through with Sully and Diebler and all those guys. And it's just a hell of a voyage to go on. I think it's as good as any sporting event is in terms of 3 weeks. Everybody knows what's in front of them. You don't have the veteran players anymore, fellas, but you still have the names. The brands are the brands. You see them, and you'll get to know them over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, and the couple of days, last night you had the fans at the UD Arena, a lot of them in Carolina blue. They're waiting for North Carolina. NC State got invested emotionally with Alabama State, with St. Francis, with that buzzer beater at the end. And it's those kind of moments. I remember being in Lexington for Ohio State and Xavier. And for that, that half-court shot. And everybody was invested in Xavier knocking off Ohio State. And
you were in the arena for the Ron Lewis shot?
Rupp Arena, yep.
Wow.
And then later in the day,
That's a big one.
Rick Pitino walks into Rupp in a white suit. and the devil just walked into church. But it's more so than just the game that's played on the court. It's everything else that makes that so special because you have those memories. And then even watching last night, like I had it on. I wasn't paying much attention to it because it's Alabama State and St. Francis. I don't really care, but that buzzer beater, you go back and you rewind. You go, he really heaved that from half court. It somehow bounces its way to where the Hornets player gets it up for the layup. And like it's those kinds of moments that you remember. It's the St. Francis's. It's the guy from Oakland last year. Those kinds of moments that get you invested in something that you would never think to before.
No.
When I go back and think of some of the memories of the tournament that I have, obviously the Christian Laettner shot, right?
Oh, gosh.
Bryce Drew a few years later. I remember Tyus Edney, number one, UCLA was about to get upset, and Tyus Edney goes all the way. I believe they were playing Missouri.
They were playing in Boise because in those days they kept the courts from the host sites, remember?
Yeah.
So you had like the Boise State court they were playing on. I remember that vividly, yeah.
Yeah, and he goes coast to coast and knocks that in. I remember those Arkansas teams that came out of nowhere. UNLV, those fun teams with Larry Johnson and Stacey Ogman and George Eccles, and I mean, just all those great things. And, of course, how could you forget the Chris Webber timeout against North Carolina? Such a vivid image of that's been iconic throughout the years.
Yeah, it has all of those things that you call back on immediately, and you remember those. Reese, I cannot believe you were in the building for the Ron Lewis shot.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible stretch of games. Jeez. But that building was vicious against Ohio State because that's the favorite, and I'll never forget that.
That's the other thing to remember, and you only know if you're there. Everybody roots for the underdog in the venues. Except for the home team, except for if Kentucky goes to someplace, the whole place is going to be blue. Like you don't understand what Big Blue Nation is until you play Kentucky in NCAA tournament like we did in 2011 when we were the number one overall seed. You think, well, we're big bad Buckeyes in Newark, and all of a sudden you walk into the place and it's all blue, and you go, oh. This is how they do it down there. It's a little bit different. But everybody roots for the underdog. And so that'll kick off tomorrow, and it will be fun. It's more fun when your team's in it, but even if they aren't, it's as good a sporting event as you're going to find. All right, 2 minutes from now, we already have the portal open, and we have a casualty on the Buckeye basketball team. We will get to that. Plus, Buckeye practice day number 2 of spring is underway. We will get to that as well. Some early observations from that. That's in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Progressive knows not all rides are smooth. Meet Peter. He loves his motorcycle. What he doesn't love is wind. Which is ironic because wind is a big part of the whole wind-in-your-face motorcycle cliche. But nobody ever tells you how relentless a storm crosswind is, or the cliche wouldn't exist. Not every ride is smooth, but Progressive has your back. Get a quote to see if you can save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
Something amazing is happening at work. Innovative tools are helping people do better work. That's because CDW configuration specialists are multiplying productivity with Microsoft Windows 11 Pro Surface devices. Built-in security, flexibility, and simplified management streamline tasks so your team can get more done. Microsoft and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/surface.
Getting the cold shoulder? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your furnace fast. Call 1-800-COOLING.
In-betweens are made for pizza. In between meals, meetings, thoughts, that's pizza time. Stop at Speedway and get 2 hot, delicious slices of pizza and a Mountain Dew 20-ounce for $5 with Speedy Rewards. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 4/29/25. See app for full terms.
Basketball from noon to midnight. Scotty Vegas here, and we're throwing a Vegas-style basketball party at Hollywood Casino at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. I even went out to Vegas to scout out how to throw this party. Tough assignment. The Fan is doing 24 hours of watch parties. The opening weekend of the tournament, there'll be custom T-shirts, Pop-A-Shot, horse games. Oh, and don't miss a game with a 50-foot video wall. Reserve your spot at HollywoodColumbus.com. Must be 21 or older to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
With friends like these, who needs former college football players? This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, here's what's up on a First Friday edition of the program. Buckeye Spring Football Day 2 is here. First hour of practice is open for filming and photography. It's actually come and went. It started at 8:30. It is over at 9:30. Post-practice interviews will happen around 11 o'clock. Quarterback coach Billy Fessler will join. Also select quarterbacks. So that is an attention getter, obviously. So you'll hear from, we've heard from all of these guys because of the college football playoff, with the exception of Tavian St. Clair. But certainly we've heard from Lincoln Keenholz, and we've heard from Julian Sayin at that point. If you wanted to talk to him as they were making that run through December and January, you could have. Running back coach Carlos Laughlin going to speak today as well. What did you make of the comments from Austin yesterday that there was a confidence that they were good at running back? Is that the real truth?
I think it's the real truth right now. And I thought that yesterday. I'm like, of course they think that. Of course they're confident now because of the job I think they've done recruiting. I think, when you have a running back named Bo Jackson in your stable, James Peoples certainly popped plenty of times last season where we came on these very airwaves and said, I want to see more of that guy. But when you have Travion and Quinshawn, you're obviously not going to see more of that guy. They did, I think, do a good job in getting kind of the hammer in C.J. Donaldson out of the transfer portal. Turbo Rogers, they plucked from Alabama. But, I think right now they feel good. After spring, I think they will feel the same, but also understand that depth's needed. Because I think T.C. Caffey missed the entire season because of an injury in camp. So you don't want to ever say someone's going to get injured, but you have to be prepared in the event that happens.
And I think that's the name people forget about Reese. And he was kind of a guy that was talked about a lot last year in spring, going to get that scholarship. He had been playing so well. He had gotten in a couple games the year before. I think he's a guy that we don't think about when we think about the running back depth. So I do believe that they think they're good because I think they believe in what they have in James Peoples. Everybody seemed to think C.J. Donaldson definitely looked the part yesterday, maybe slimmed down a little bit from his West Virginia playing days. Yeah. And T.C. Caffey's another guy that maybe not a lot of veteran experience on the field, but definitely a lot of experience in that room. And then I think they believe in what they got in this freshman running back class coming in as well.
It's just so it's one of the things we're just going to have to get used to is just at those positions at running back and quarterback, there just isn't the proof in the pudding as there was a year ago. It's not for lack of talent. This is what they do. They recruit at an incredible rate. But you do not have somebody like Will Howard in the quarterback room, or even somebody like Devin Brown, who'd been here a long time, but somebody like Will, who had played 3 seasons as a starting quarterback at K-State. Like, you don't have that. And you don't have a guy who led the SEC in rushing twice over the course of 2 years, and a former 5-star in his 4th year in Travion Henderson. So Ohio State last year at quarterback and running back had ready-to-go pros. This year, they have pro talent that is just wildly unproven. And so those conversations from Billy Fessler and those quarterbacks, that will be very interesting to see how those guys kind of carry themselves. All those kids have been, with the exception of Tavian, which this will be a little bit new for him, but Lincoln and Julian have been in the fire now. Lincoln, in his 18 months, he wasn't an early enrollee, but Julian was, and so he's been here a year, and he's kind of seen everything that comes with being the quarterback around here. But it'll be new for Tavian St. Clair if he's made available or not, I don't know. And then in the running back room as well, just are you ready to carry? Didn't we end up with both those guys over 1,000 yards last year?
That sounds right.
Both ended up over 1,000 because you played 16
My
games.
biggest thing with what happened last year was you saw Travion just throw people into the earth's core. Like the pass blocking ability of the running back room last year is my biggest concern. There's talent. This is Ohio State, but can they give a new quarterback that kind of extra time when Jim Knowles blitzes a linebacker on November 1st? Can the running back, whomever it is, can they give that quarterback enough time to make the correct read or make the proper throw or just not get killed?
They did both go over 1,000 because I remember I don't remember if it was the only time, but it was super rare that one team had 2,000-yard running backs and 2,000-yard wide receivers on the same team.
That's right, yeah. When is the last time that we Was there was probably a little stretch between J.K. and Travion? Was there a year? I'm trying to think the last time. Do we have a 5-star running back on the roster? Like coming out of high school?
I don't know if Travion was or not.
Travion was. Yeah, he was.
So it's Travion.
Travion was. And
I
it
think
was, and J.K. was, and Zeke was. So there was a stretch where it was almost like one led into another. And I don't know if I don't know that there's that on that. Doesn't mean that one of them is not going to be great. Carlos Hyde wasn't a 5-star. He was great. So you can do it, but it feels like that is going to be an interesting position group for the points Reese made about pass blocking, and also just is there dynamic talent. You think of the play that Travion Henderson made in the Texas game on the screen. I mean, that's an all-timer.
I don't want to think about
all-time play.
The second half of that game. Does he if he doesn't make that play?
It changed everything.
Yeah.
It changed. Texas had all the momentum in the world. It's the one thing you couldn't give up, and they gave it up. And you had 2 NFL backs. So do you have NFL backs now? Maybe. It's just wildly unproven. We had our first entry into the portal on the Buckeye basketball side of things. Austin Parks announced yesterday that he is entering the portal after 2 seasons with the Buckeyes, seeking a new home for his final 2 years of collegiate eligibility. 6'10", 260 sophomore, appeared in just 24 games as a reserve center, averaged a little more than a point, little less than a rebound in 8 minutes across 15 games. He gave it 2 years to see if it would take. It didn't. This isn't anything. There's no crying over spilled milk here. This wasn't a major contributor in terms of somebody in the mix. But it does speak to something we've talked about all week long in regard to playing postseason basketball that isn't the NCAA tournament. And it's just a matter of these rosters are going to be ravaged over the next week. Absolutely ravaged. And you think about it's Monday when this opens up. So you're going to play the weekend of the tournament, and then you're going to have a mass exodus in college basketball. Everybody that's eliminated, all of those guys are going to throw their names in the portal. You use the portal as free agency, right? You can always return. You can go into the portal, and then if there's not a better offer, you can go back to Big State U. But you're going to go in and see if you can wet your beak a little bit. And so that's going to be next Monday when that's going to be chaos, fellas. The names that you see in that thing are going to be, I think it's going to be absolutely chaos.
That's one day I plead with you, Elon, make sure nobody's attacking your social media app.
It's interesting, Bo, that you mentioned that going in the portal and then possibly taking your name out and coming back. That's one of the things I saw. Malik Renault of Indiana said he was going to be entering the portal, and that's one of the things you heard a lot of the comments there. They were hopeful that he's just doing this because of the new coach, and once he gets the new coach in there and gets to know him, that he will take his name out and stay at Indiana. But just interesting facts there and Bryson Rogers did that for the football team last year at Ohio State. He put his name in the portal and then he took it out and ended up staying.
What did you mentioned that? Is it Darian DeVries or Darian DeVries?
I think it's DeVeers.
DeVeers?
Yeah, I think.
I had heard DeVries, but I'm not sure.
It looks like DeVries. There was a DeVries I played high school basketball against, and it was spelled the same way, and it was DeVries.
DeVries.
Okay, I don't know, but I mean, what do we make of this? Is this? I mean, it was quick. They didn't waste time. I mean, they were really quick. I suppose once Dusty May redid the contract at Michigan, at that point, there was no sense in trying to do that. But I'm curious. Like, they've been trying to find their way for the longest time. And is this the dude to do it? So he's 49 years old. In terms of coaching career, he was at Creighton as an assistant for 17 years. Holy smokes. That's wild. He was the head coach at Drake from 18 to 24 and was at West Virginia last season. So, no. He goes from Drake to Indiana. So that's where it goes. Did West Virginia want this guy or something? Like, why do they keep saying this is bad? Another bad news for West Virginia.
I thought he was. I thought he was there because
for 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year because his son is the one.
How's the wiki not updated on that? On the wiki, it shows him at Drake and then at Indiana.
That's a bad job out of Wikipedia. Yeah,
it's really bad. It's like it didn't exist.
And the selection committee used the injury to his son as an excuse to why they kept the Mountaineers out of the big dance.
That's right.
And the governor was like, well, his son, they didn't have his son. They went 13-10. So we're going to sue you, NCAA. I don't know if he spoke like that. But
does the son have any eligibility left?
So he's probably going to Indiana. He's got 1 year. And he was a 2-time player of the year in the conference that Drake is in, which I'm blanking on right now. I want to say Missouri Valley player of the year.
Okay.
Twice.
So then he'll join him at Indiana.
He's a 6'7", 220-pound guard.
He's 22.
But he's got a shoulder. He's got a shoulder he just got fixed. So
there you go. All right. And he missed enough time that maybe he can get away with it. All right. We will have a little fun with the brackets. We will put this into the Fan 10 TV Bracket Challenge. We will do the South region. The criteria will be coach's show host ability. We will do the South region entirely on that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jerry. You know, as much as I enjoy being a professional inventor, a few of my dream inventions still elude me.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Well, the bruiseless avocado.
Ooh.
The unlosable TV remote.
Could change the world.
And for you, Aaron, the uncloggable drain.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Until you crack it, Jerry. You know our 93 or free drain clearing offer is the next best thing.
Okay. Explain yourself.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Our drain team will clear your drain for just $93. If we can't clear it, it's free. And we guarantee it'll stay clear for at least a year, or we will clear it again for free.
Get Eco.
ECO.
We'll even send our little robot camera down there to make sure you don't have a larger problem that could cause more trouble in the future.
Get Eco.
ECO.
You think your guys could bring that robot over to my place and help me find that TV remote?
I think that's impossible even for us.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco, plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Hi, Kevin. How's my engine doing?
Well, you tell me, little lady.
What?
Ma'am, an engine is delicate. It's got a lot of parts rubbing together.
Oh, is that so?
Lube her up real nice, and she'll purr like a kitty cat.
How do you know so much about engines?
Well, I spent a lot of time under that hood.
Babe, she is running hot. Let's go. And next time, I get to play the mechanic.
Rev up the romance with Lion's Den, the official store of pleasure, passion, and romance.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Are you sick of the Ohio winter weather like me? Well, spring camping is almost here, and deals are blooming at RCD RV. From March 15th through the 29th, take advantage of our spring savings event. Over 800 new and pre-owned RVs in stock. Let us help plan a springtime adventure for you. New travel trailers starting as low as $12,995. Campers for every single budget. Visit the locations, Delaware, Heath, and Pataskala, or shop online at rcdrv.com. Don't wait. RCD RV is your destination for springtime adventure.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle and Market District. Find everyday savings and bargains on produce, meat, and more. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting long-term lower prices. With our weekly sales, deals for days promotions, and My Perks loyalty program, Giant Eagle helps make the most out of every shopping trip. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle and experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle and Market District today to see how easy it is to save.
Brackets are out, and now it's time to win some cash. Enter the Fan and 10 TV Bracket Challenge for your chance to win $1,000.
Sponsored by Mountain Dew, Ohio bottled, Buckeye bold.
Compete against your favorite Fan and 10 TV personalities, and compete against the ones you hate too. Registration closes at noon on Thursday, so don't wait till the final buzzer. Head to 971thefan.com for all the fun. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-777-1225. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or biglou.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Federal Elite Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
10 feet tall and bulletproof isn't just a saying, it's a way of life. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And the bracket is set. Now it's your turn to make your picks. Join the Fan and 10 TV Bracket Challenge. Compete against your favorite Fan and 10 TV personalities. And the best part, the top bracket wins $1,000. But hurry, the deadline is Thursday at noon. Head over to 971thefan.com to enter now. The Fan and 10 TV Bracket Challenge is sponsored by Mountain Dew, Ohio Bottled, and Buckeye Bold. I did mine last night, and then I had the boys do one. And now this will be our official show bracket. And the one thing we do here, Baris, when we do this is we do it completely nonsensically, and we do it with various categories per region. And so we will start in the South, and we will be loyal to the criteria. We will not waver. So, for example, some of the criteria we're dealing with, which coach would I trust more with my money? We will do that in the East region. The West region, which campus city is more visually appealing scenery. So we will, whatever the bracket says, it'll be about location in that one. And then finally, we will finish the mascot fight to death in the Midwest. So that's how this will all shake out. But we start in the South, and the criteria here is what, my friend?
It is, which coach would you rather do the coaches show with? Host the coaches show. And okay. You mentioned we start off in the South, and I love this first one. The number 1 seed, Auburn. You got Bruce Pearl, who could show up shirtless in body paint, taking on Alabama State's Tony Madlock, who he did play at Memphis with Penny Hardaway, so I'm sure he's got some good stories from that.
It's fine. It's Pearl by 1,000 miles. My liver would not last with Bruce Pearl hosting the coaches show and tomcatting around Auburn, Alabama with him, but it would be the time of my life. You'd live fast, die young. I'm in. Auburn coaches show. Quite honestly, it's going to be a lot to unseat them.
I agree with that. A lot to unseat Auburn.
And
Bruce Pearl has to be great.
They might do a lot of winning and a lot of other criteria as well. They got a tiger as a mascot.
Just Pearl alone. I mean, that's got to be just a circus.
This is too good. The 8-9 matchup in the South. You've got Louisville and Ohio's own Cincinnati kid Pat Kelsey taking on Creighton and their 15-year head coach Greg McDermott.
So I like Greg McDermott a lot. I don't mind Omaha. Omaha's fine. But Louisville's got the whiskey. So I feel like I'm going to do a nice job there. I think it's got to be Louisville here.
Pat Kelsey, also a guy that seems to not be afraid to speak his mind at all. You'd probably get some great quotes from him. In the 5-12 matchup, you've got Michigan and former Bob Knight student manager Dusty May.
On UC San Diego.
Don't even need any more.
I'll be damned if I'm hosting a Michigan coaches show. No chance. I'll live in San Diego, live in Carlsbad of the La Jolla. Let's go.
They do the Jeff Brom coaches show at a Roosters.
See?
In Louisville. So.
No, yeah. I'm winning there. That's
Pat
easy.
Kelsey also Roosters in Louisville. So.
Yeah, that's easy.
Doing the coaches show on the beaches of San Diego, probably
it's
not
easy.
Too bad either.
Not
right?
bad. No, I'm in.
The 4-13, you've got Texas A&M and Buzz Williams taking on Yale and James Jones, who was a sales executive at the National Cash Register before he became a coach.
Listen, I don't know that I want to live in College Station, but give me Buzz. I feel like every show would be an episode of Landman. I'm for that. Just straight talking, common sense. I'm in. Give me A&M.
In the 6-11 matchup, you have got Chris Beard of Ole Miss and UNC's Hubert Davis, who, man, he'd be great on a coach's show. He had a career at ESPN for a while.
Yeah. Hubert seems like he lacks sense of humor a little bit. Do I have a right? Like, would you think
a little bit
dry,
little serious, a little too serious for the fun we're trying to have with a coach's show?
That's right.
Those can get dry when you're talking November, December.
Yeah.
You talk about a Maui tournament, you're like,
yeah.
What's the give a damn here?
I think North Carolina will beat Ole Miss, like in the real tournament. I think they'll beat them. It wouldn't surprise me if they went on a run, but we got to stay loyal. So I'll go Ole Miss, Chris Beard, Oxford. That feels like a win.
The 3-4 here is Iowa State versus Lipscomb, so you get TJ.
Where's Lipscomb located?
Oh, I had this earlier, and I didn't write it down because it was not my...
Nashville.
Lipscomb.
Lenny Acuff and Lipscomb gets the win. We go to the 7-10 now. Marquette and Shaka Smart. New Mexico, Richard Pitino.
Little Rick Pitino. Oh, my God. It's Albuquerque, right? I think that's New Mexico.
Correct.
You're in Albuquerque. I'm going to go Marquette and Shaka. I think I could do Milwaukee. Albuquerque, I feel like you just end up in Breaking Bad.
And I feel like this is a sneaky good matchup here. Michigan State's Tom Izzo and Bryant University's Phil Martelli Jr.
Junior? Is senior on the staff?
I do not believe that he is.
I always liked Izzo. I'm fine with Michigan State. I don't love Lansing. I don't even know where Bryant is. But I can do Michigan State. That's a decent campus.
All right, so on to the second round. We've got Bruce Pearl versus Pat Kelsey.
Auburn, Alabama sucks, guys. It really sucks. I think like me and Bruce Pearl on the coaches show, that turns into an episode of Dukes of Hazzard. I really do. I think we're driving around country roads, running from authorities.
Good TV.
I think you have the time of your life. Give me Auburn.
Bruce Pearl moving on. So that takes us to a 4 versus 12 matchup. Buzz Williams, Texas A&M, UC San Diego's Eric Olin.
Give me San Diego. I don't want to live in College Station. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do the coaches show in San Diego.
So let's head down to the next matchup. We've got a 6 versus a 14. Ole Miss and Chris Beard, Lipscomb, Lenny Acuff.
Lenny Acuff. And Lipscomb is in Nashville?
Nashville.
Be something if you're related to Roy Acuff. That'd be something. I think Ole Miss, hotty toddy, good gosh almighty, Chris Beard. He's not the best guy, obviously.
You'd get stories, though.
I get stories, and I get Oxford. Yeah, I'll take it.
And it feels like if the Rebels do well in this tournament, then his name surfaces with other big jobs. Like Will Wade, we'll talk about later in the show. Like these guys who once had run-ins with the NCAA and had some other issues, if they succeed this March, you'll see them back in big boy college basketball programs.
Yep.
Last spot in the Sweet 16 on the line here, Shaka Smart versus Tom Izzo.
Izzo can be so sanctimonious. Give me Shaka.
A little bit of an upset there.
Yeah, well,
All right,
I've always liked the Mecca in Milwaukee, that old arena, so I'll go there.
Let's move us on to the Sweet 16 matchups. Bruce Pearl versus Eric Olin.
I think it's Pearl.
Let me just pause real quick. I think you're right, but UC San Diego, I believe it's either them or San Diego. One of them plays at the Jenny Craig Pavilion. Oh, it's San Diego, not UC San Diego.
You're doing it. The weather's gorgeous, but you're doing an irrelevant show. Like your third fiddle, even in college basketball. Meantime, Tomcatting around with Pearl feels undefeated. I mean, that could turn into Talladega Nights, Ricky Bobby, all of that. So I got Auburn. I'll take Auburn.
Chris Beard or Shaka Smart?
I go Shaka.
So then we have got our matchup to make it to the Final Four. Bruce Pearl versus Shaka Smart.
I didn't know how these would shake. It's Pearl. I mean, I just think it's going to be the most fun you're ever going to have. That's just going to be.
So Auburn.
That one ends up chalk.
Yeah, Auburn into the Final Four, which could happen.
It could happen. All right, we will do the East. The criteria here is coaches handling your money. We will do that coming up next. Bishop and Fred's right here on The Fan.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever for a single line. Just $45 per month when you bring your phone, which is less than you spend on Too Tired to Cook takeout every week. Get one line on Unlimited Welcome for $45 per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. Visit your local Columbus Verizon store by April 2nd to save. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on Unlimited Welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
At Diamonds Direct, we believe luxury is an experience and not a price tag. Luxury is expert guidance. It's the selection of 10 jewelry stores under one roof. It's saving time on endless comparison shopping, and you'll only find this experience at Diamonds Direct. Our luxury showroom has it all backed by our lifetime warranties and our signature best price guarantee. Diamonds Direct is the perfect combination of luxury and value, so you don't ever have to compromise. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Leases on approved credit. No security deposit required. Tax, tags, title, and dealer fees extra. Ends April 1st.
I'm Rick Reichert. If the calendar says March and there's basketball on TV, it can only mean one thing. Mark down madness at number 1, Reichert Ford. Reichert Ford has sold vehicles to every state in the nation, and we'll sell you one too. Lease new 2024 F-150S TX for just $399 a month for 36 months. 0 down. Plus, you get Reichert Ford's exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty, because we're dealing. Saving money is a slam dunk at Reichert Ford. Lease new 2024 Bronco Sport for just $399 a month for 36 months. 0 down. Plus, Reichert Ford's exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty. It's madness. Mark down madness at the number 1 largest volume Ford dealer in Ohio, Reichert Ford. At Route 33 and Hamilton Road, 2 minutes off 270, and at ReichertFord.com. We're dealing.
Get the right car at Reichert.
We're dealing.
Based on 2024 Ford report for total new retail sales. Cincinnati region. Leases on approved credit. No security deposit required. Tax, tags, title, and dealer fees extra. Ends April 1st.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, I remember you saying that a family business should reflect family values, that a customer deserves to be treated with kindness and compassion.
And those values will never change. The reputation you built for being fair and honest is our greatest asset.
In fact, in 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and named the Lennox Partner of the Year.
You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind. It's an honor to continue serving Central Ohio as a locally owned, family-run business.
So, whether you need a tune-up, repair, or just honest advice, Care is here for you.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
When you join the plus side with AAA, that's all you'll have to do. Or you could learn to change your own tire.
Hey fam, what's up? Today I'm gonna teach you to change a flat. Before we start, make sure it's not raining, or hailing, or lightning.
You can have AAA find you the right insurance policy, or you can shop for your own.
Hello?
I'm with Mega Insure. You requested a quote?
Yes, 3 months ago.
You could have our travel advisors plan your dream vacation, or book your own travel.
Woo! Panama City Beach, spring break.
I thought you said we were going to Panama.
Wait, there's a difference?
Skip the hard work. On the plus side, get more with AAA. Go to AAA.com/plus side.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
A great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. That's where True Green comes in. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know a thing or two about keeping grass looking like a fairway. It's more affordable than you think, and they'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Head to TrueGreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The big dance continues on Wednesday with the final two first four play-in games over in Dayton. Mount St. Mary's plays American tonight at 6:40. Xavier and Texas go around 9:10. Alabama State advanced to the first round last night. A half-court heave allowed the Hornets to make a layup at the buzzer to beat St. Francis 70-68. Alabama State's going to play Auburn tomorrow afternoon in Lexington. Also last night, North Carolina pummeled San Diego State 95-68. The Tar Heels will play Ole Miss Friday night in Milwaukee. In NFL news, ESPN's reporting the Vikings will not pursue free agent quarterback Aaron Rodgers. And in baseball, the LA Dodgers are off to a 2-0 start. Los Angeles swept the Chicago Cubs in the Tokyo series with a 6-3 win this morning at the Tokyo Dome. This update is sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, give Dr. Mark Levy's office a call at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP, or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Keep your friends close and your producers closer. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
By the way, speaking of that, the game this morning between the Dodgers and the Cubs, did you see Rodney Peete, former NFL quarterback and USC quarterback, catching? He basically did a Bartman. He caught a foul ball that Max Muncy had kind of tracking, and he caught it, which begs the question, Rodney Peete loves the Dodgers so much that he's flying to Tokyo to watch them play?
Dedication.
I think Bill Murray there. Jack White was there as well.
Wow.
The series is sponsored by like the Guggenheim Group. So my guess is I don't know if he's part of that ownership group or knows people in that ownership group. They just sent a gigantic viewing party out there to watch it. But if you're
a glove,
you're a big baseball fan. He's a big baseball fan. If you're that big of a fan, go nuts, man. But yeah, don't get involved in the game.
Yeah, he did. I mean, it's pretty crazy. And Muncy's looking at him like, dude, it's wild. All right, let's continue with the bracket picks. We are in the East. The criteria here is what, Reese?
The coach's financial availability, or I guess, which coach would we rather have controlling our finances?
Managing our money.
Yes.
Putting little Timmy and Susie through school.
Yes, a better way to say that.
Retirement funds. Yeah. All right, we got it. Let's roll.
We'll start with 116. It's Duke and John Shire against either Donnie Lynn and Mount St. Mary's or Dwayne Simpkins and American.
I mean, it's Duke.
Yeah.
There's going to come a line for this where I'm going to be reminded of Tim Ratliff and the failures on White Lotus. But for now, I think I'd probably go Shire here. Now, degree in history. No degree in finance for John Shire at Duke, but a history degree. So I'm going to go there. He probably has, at the very least, he would have access to really smart money people.
Right. It's coach's financial advisability. So
Yeah.
he would likely know people that could put you in the right spots.
That's what I think.
And maybe the wrong spots. Like you're considering using a firearm in Thailand. Things could get that bad.
Right. You got to be careful.
The 8-9 matchup in the East has Mississippi State taking on Baylor. So you got Chris Jans against Scott Drew.
Scotty Drew's got a lot of money.
And he never played college hoops. Look at him now.
That's right.
I can trust that.
I can trust him. Yeah, it's fine.
The 5-12 matchup has Oregon taking on Liberty. You've got Dana Altman in his, I believe, 15th season with Oregon against Richie McKay, who's in his second stint with the Flames.
I can't trust anybody named Richie.
Yeah.
Ever since Richie Aprile in The Sopranos, I'm out. I can't do that.
And
So
Dana Altman, like, that's secure.
It feels like a security. Yeah.
More than a decade.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
The 4-13 matchup in the East region has Tommy Lloyd of Arizona taking on John Gross and the Akron Zips.
Johnny Gross. He wears vests like I do. Give me Johnny Gross all day long. I'll trust him with my cash. And plus, I mean, just think of it like when he makes he can take something that is kind of a lower ceiling and then he reaches the max of it. He did that at Ohio. He did that at Akron. So I like that. I like the advisability of Johnny Gross. Give me Akron.
The 6-11 matchup in the East region has BYU taking on VCU. You've got Kevin Young for the Cougars, Ryan Odom of Virginia Commonwealth. Odom, real quick, was head coach at UMBC from 2016 to 2021. He was the coach in 2018 when UMBC upset the top-seeded Virginia Cavaliers. It was the first 16-1 in history.
I don't know that everybody who's Mormon does this. I don't even know if the coach at BYU is Mormon, but they're big into tithing. So I don't need 10% of my cash going to something else. Give me the VCU guy. We're not tithing up in here. We're not doing that.
It's not your money. Yeah, if it was my money and I wanted to take 10% to the Lord,
no, I don't.
I get to choose that. You can't choose that for me.
It's my money and I want it now.
If I'm sitting down at a desk and you're like, well, 10% needs to go to the church, I say, hold on here. Who's 10%?
Wait, who gets it? I've seen those churches.
Your 10% can go, but it won't be mine. The 3-14 matchup in the East region has Greg Garden, Wisconsin, taking on Travis DeCury and Montana. I mean, Greg will guard your money
will guard your money.
The slogan.
Travis is a great player at the University of Montana. Listen, this is my brother's alma mater. I'll be damned if I'm going to trust somebody that went to the school he went to. So give me the Wisconsin guys. Give me guard.
The 7-10 matchup has Randy Bennett from St. Mary's taking on Mark Byington and Vanderbilt.
Stackhouse isn't at Vanderbilt anymore? I didn't realize that.
I haven't heard a damn thing about Vanderbilt Commodores basketball in a decade.
I know Bryce Drew was there and then Stackhouse was there, but I didn't know that he was fired. Oh, my gosh. Vanderbilt's access to money feels like that would be the smart play here. So I'll get, was it Byington? Mark Byington?
Mark Byington.
All right, I'll roll there.
All right, the 2-15 matchup's got Alabama and Nate Oates taking on Andrew Toole of Robert Morris.
The sport jacket collection on Nate Oates alone. He shows up at my house in one of those. I'm in. I got Nate Oates in Alabama.
All right, we'll go to the 1-9 matchup and John Shire and Duke, Scott Drew and Baylor.
Boy. Who's more trustworthy here? Who do I trust more? I got to tell you, I got to stay loyal to it. And loyalty is what Scott Drew was at Baylor. He could have taken the Kentucky job. He didn't. I got to stay loyal to the criteria. I'm going Baylor.
Pretty successful in Waco, so.
Very. Won a national title, loyal. I think he'll have your back. I'll give me Scott Drew.
The next matchup, the 5-seeded Oregon Ducks taking on the 13th-seeded Akron Zips. You got Dana Altman at Oregon, John Gross in Akron.
Johnny Gross, baby.
Yeah, let's go.
Give me that. Give me the Zips. He's going to rock in there with a golf vest. I see that. I go, God, looks just like me. Let's roll, buddy.
All right, a second-round matchup in the East with Ryan Odom and Virginia Commonwealth and Greg Gard in Wisconsin.
I think Greg Gard's going to be really conservative. I think he's not going to lose your money. He's probably not going to make you a bunch, but sometimes that's a safe way to go, especially as I'm getting older. So give me Greg Gard.
And then finally in the second round, Vanderbilt and Alabama, Mark Byington and the Commodores, Nate Oates and the Tide.
What can we tell me about Mark Byington? What am I dealing with a Mark Byington?
Oh, Stackhouse is an assistant with the Warriors now.
Oh, he said the hell with it.
Tip of the cap to Nate in the YouTube chat.
Good job. All right, so let's see, previously head coach at I don't know if I can trust this cat. All right, let's do, I'm going to go Oates one. I can go for Oates one more just on, what am I doing? You're taking somebody at Vanderbilt over somebody from Alabama. Give me the Vanderbilt guy. Byington wins.
All right, we'll go now.
We're managing money here, kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels right. Baylor and Akron.
I got to stay. This is the end of the line for the Zips and the quarter Zips and the vest game. Scott Drew, loyalty. He's sturdy. Give me Baylor.
What about Wisconsin and Vanderbilt? Mark Byington and Greg Gard.
I think the access to Vanderbilt's financial might pushes them over the top. I'll take Vanderbilt.
It's about opening the right doors.
I think so, too.
And I think, you'll get Vanderbilt more so than you would at University of Wisconsin. All right, a chance at a ticket to the Final Four. Baylor and Scott Drew, Vanderbilt and Mark Byington.
Kentucky went to Scott Drew and said, we'll give you anything you want. And Scott Drew said, I'm going to go have lunch in Baylor because these are my guys. This is also a guy, this was a program that had legitimate murder in it when he took over. Like, that happened. And he turned it into, that's maxing out. So I'll take bear down and Baylor. Sick'em. Baylor goes to the Final
So
Four.
2 Final Four tickets have been punched, Auburn and Baylor.
I don't think either are far-fetched.
I don't hate those picks. I guarantee you, of the 4 brackets we do, the 3 individuals and this bracket, this one will do better in terms of points for the Fan and 10 TV's bracket challenge.
Big
Mark
gambles. Yeah, the Shire one was tough because of the access to Duke. I just couldn't get Tim Ratliff out of my mind and the corruption. And I feel like I could be in a Ponzi scheme in 2 minutes with Shire. All right, we will do the West bracket. This will be appealing scenery. So we're looking for drone shots, appealing scenery. So you have that to look forward to, which is nice. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Men, this is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And though I generally talk about medicine and effective treatments for erectile dysfunction and other men's sexual health issues, today I want to talk about love. Because love is the best reason to get treated for your ED. You see, ED can cause major relationship issues. In fact, men often push their partners away when ED becomes a problem. The condition can cause depression, arguments, breakups, and even contribute to divorce. But the good news is that if you're like most men suffering with ED, you can be successfully treated at Tri-State Men's Health and put a stop to the relationship stresses that ED can cause. I say this with all confidence because we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Truly, it's likely you'll find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get the love back in your life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. All tournament long, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app. Sign up with the promo code Radio100 to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Choose Logan Services for savings up to $2,000 on a qualifying train system and 0% APR financing for 60 months. It's hard to stop a train. Estimates are free and installation takes just 1 day. Logan Services.
Montana, Bettis, Horning, and Brown, some of the greatest of all time, kicked off their careers in South Bend. You can celebrate Notre Dame football's impact on the professional game by visiting the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton to experience gold helmet to gold jacket March 14th through April 27th. And register to win our grand prize at 971thefan.com/gold jacket. One winner will receive 2 tickets to the Hall of Fame game, enshrinement ceremony, and the Hall of Fame Museum. That's 971thefan.com/gold jacket.
Scott the Scots here. How did the grass feel when it woke up from winter? A little crabby. Get it? Crabgrass? Right now, there's a short window of time to apply Scott's Turf Builder Halt's Crabgrass Preventer. It stops crabgrass before it invades and feeds your lawn for a fast green up after winter.
Save up to $20 today at the Home Depot or Lowe's for Scott's Day-Long Saving Time. Offers valid March 6th through 19th. See store for full details and product selection.
Anthony Rothman here for Tel Ohio. Tel Ohio Credit Union has been financing dreams and fueling the local economy for 90 years. And as the #1 SBA lender among Ohio credit unions, learn why more than 3,000 business owners trust Tel Ohio. Visit telohio.org/business.
Fish has been named the 3rd best sports program director in the country. The 2 dudes who finished ahead of him are dead. So we're declaring him the winner. You're listening to the home of champions, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hi, the Scott Antique Markets are back again at the Ohio Expo Center, featuring hundreds of vendors with collectibles and merchandise from all over the world. The market is 1 weekend monthly, November through March. Build your family heirlooms. You can find everything that gets old. Just take I-71 to exit 111 to enjoy America's favorite treasure hunt. Visit thescottantiquemarket.com for more information. Come join us at the Ohio Expo Center for the Scott Antique Markets. It's huge. It's the Scott Antique Markets this weekend.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty.
Hey, do you want to sell your property? However, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating. You're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Feeling like spring out there today. It'll be around 72 for the high this afternoon. As we head into tonight, though, we are tracking our next system that will drive in some showers, maybe even a thunderstorm or two. Heading into tomorrow, looking at scattered showers, it'll be much colder with highs only in the 40s. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
An ex-jock and a very puffy, smooth-faced man. These are the first voices you should hear. Morning Juice. Your wake-up service.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan. Taking the art of sports radio and day drinking to a whole new level. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are, and as customary, we are sponsored by our great friends at Diamond Settler, your true jeweler for over 78 years. We continue with the brackets. This is our official show bracket. We have crowned a champion of the East using coach's ability to financially advise our family, and we have used the South. We use the criteria there, the coach's show host ability. Would I want to host a coach's show of that? And that netted us Auburn and Baylor in the Final Four. We are now out west, where the category is what, Reese?
Drone shot appeal ability. Which campus or city has the more visually appealing scenery?
Okay.
We'll start with the 116 matchup in the West. Florida from Gainesville, Norfolk State from Virginia.
I've not been to Norfolk. I've been to Gainesville a lot. If you do, you just got to, if you keep it to campus, I think Florida wins narrowly. Gainesville itself is nothing but strip malls and nonsense. But the campus is cool. They do have actual Gators on campus. Ben Hill Griffin's right across the street from the O-Dome. Their facilities are nice. So I'm gonna go Florida, but barely here. They're not going to last long.
The 8-9 matchup in the West has UConn from Storrs and Oklahoma, the Sooners out of Norman. And I've been to Norman.
Go ahead. It's got to be like Landman, right? Like just big, wide open, and
it's flat.
I've not been there.
As far as college towns go, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
but
I mean, Storrs is not.
It
that
has
part of Connecticut is not. You're a long way from like Westchester.
So maybe Norman gets it.
I think it's Oklahoma.
Because you do have Memorial Stadium. You do have, I think, a picturesque college town. Oklahoma City's pretty flat, but an up-and-coming spot.
It's going to be a mess.
Yeah, I don't know about this one.
This is going to be a mess in this bracket, guys. It's going to be a mess. Go ahead.
5-12 in the West. You've got Memphis and Colorado State. The Rams are out of Fort Collins, Colorado.
I've been there. It's gorgeous. It's right on the Rocky Mountain front. I feel like I can project this bracket now. Grand Canyon could be interesting. I love The Firm. It's one of my sneaky favorite Tom Cruise movies. It's set in Memphis. I enjoyed it a great deal, but Memphis is not Fort Collins. It's Colorado State.
I felt like that one was going to be pretty easy.
It sets up for
a couple of these might be too.
The Rams are going to have a long run in this, I think, fellas.
The next up in the West, the 4-12 matchup has Maryland and Grand Canyon. Now, Grand Canyon's physical campus is in Phoenix, but if we're going literally, they're available online.
You know, Maryland could put up a fight here because of the D.C. proximity, and I'm a sucker for drone shots of D.C., but a physical campus in Phoenix is probably pretty tough to beat. You're talking Camelback Mountain and all of that. I think it's got to be Grand Canyon.
All right, the 6-11 matchup has Missouri and Drake. So Missouri's located in Columbia, Drake, Des Moines, Iowa.
Well, the rolling hills of Iowa for Drake. I don't know on this. This is in Des Moines, you said, Drake? I've not been to Des Moines. And I have not been to Columbia. Have either of you been to either one of these places?
No.
I've been through both of these states.
I have driven, because Missouri's right off of like a 70. Driving through Missouri. Columbia's right there. So I have a feeling both of these schools are so daggone similar in their drone shot here, and there's absolutely nothing.
There's no difference at all. It's just rolling hills and woods. I can't quit the Drake. Give me the Drake.
All right, the 3-14 matchup has Texas Tech, located in Lubbock, and
this is Landman.
UNC Wilmington in Wilmington, North Carolina.
I've not been to Wilmington.
I've already advanced it.
Wilmington's better than Landman?
I mean, it has to be.
North Carolina, you've got flat Texas.
Yeah, Landman's. Oh, boy, this is going to be a mess. All right, go ahead.
All right, the 7-10 matchup out west has Kansas and Arkansas. You've got Lawrence against Fayetteville.
Boy.
I was surprised how close these two schools actually are. They're really not that far apart.
They aren't distance-wise?
Yeah, like Kansas is in that lower, obviously lower part of Missouri and Kansas, and then Arkansas is up in the northwest corner of the state. So didn't look that far apart on the map, at least.
Yeah, I'll go Lawrence here. It feels like, your proximity to Kansas City, maybe you could sneak in an Arrowhead.
Lawrence
Field.
Lawrence is a great town.
Yeah, I've not been there. Timmy would speak highly of it, obviously, but I'll go Kansas, I guess.
The 2-15 matchup in the West has St. John's out of Queens and Nebraska at Omaha in Omaha, Nebraska.
You got to go New York City, right? I know it's a borough, but it's New York City, so that's got some pretty good drone shots there. Mm-hmm. So I'll go St. John's. St. John's is going to save us a little bit here, guys, just because of the New York City proximity.
Mm-hmm. I think so. On to the second round, where you have Florida, the 1 seed, taking on Oklahoma, the 9 seed. It's Gainesville versus Norman in their drone shot appealability.
It's just swamps versus plains. Do you like a swamp or do you like plains? I think the campuses are probably pretty similar. My hunch is Norman, with its proximity to Oklahoma City, is a cooler town. But in terms of like a zoom out, it's wildly subjective. I guess I'll go Gainesville. There are a lot of lakes on campus and stuff at Florida. Like the actual campus is pretty cool. So I'll go Florida but this is going to be the end of the line. But I'll go get Florida one more.
All right, in the second round, the 12-13 matchup everybody has on their bracket. Colorado State at Fort Collins, Grand Canyon out of Phoenix, Arizona.
Have you guys Googled Colorado State?
I spent a lot of time on the Google in Fort Collins today.
It's beautiful. It's not Boulder. Boulder would be the go-to all the way, but it's really pretty, and it's on the Rocky Mountain front. It's Colorado State. It's beautiful.
Next up, you've got Drake, the 11 seed from Des Moines, UNC Wilmington, the 14 seed out of Wilmington, North Carolina.
I don't have I'm trying to think if I've ever even been through Wilmington.
So Kyle in the YouTube chat says he lives in Wilmington, so we got to be careful here. Says it's absolutely beautiful. Wrightsville Beach is located in Wilmington.
Oh, my God. He's got beaches. He's got bridges.
Wilmington is right there on the ocean, pretty much. And great golf there in Wilmington, too, just north of Myrtle Beach. So, yeah, I think Wilmington's a great town.
March on, Wilmington.
Final ticket to the Sweet 16 has Kansas and St. John's. So you've got Lawrence, and you've got Queens.
It's like, can I get a burger at McDowell's while I'm in Queens? You got to have New York City proximity. I think that's a lot of fun on a drone shot scenery. So give me St. John's for that one.
All right, this next matchup has us going to the Elite Eight, Florida and Colorado State. Gainesville, Florida, Fort Collins, Colorado.
It's obviously Colorado State. There's no way there's no cheating it. I can't come on here and try to make some sort of case that Gainesville, Florida is more aesthetically pleasing than Fort Collins, Colorado. The one thing I will say is that the weather would be a huge advantage for Florida, but that's not what we're doing here. We're doing drone shots, scenic, and Colorado State is more scenic than Florida. The 12-seeded. Who in the blue hell is coaching Colorado State?
Big Rams fans on this show.
Got to see who the men's basketball coach is at Colorado
All right.
State.
While you do that, I'll just
go ahead.
Unveil our final matchup into the Elite Eight.
Nico Medved.
Sure.
Is your coach. He's 142-84 at CSU.
Beaches.
He's been there a minute.
Beaches versus Burroughs. UNC Wilmington, St. John's.
This is tough.
The Wilmington pictures are beautiful.
I'm kind of leaning Wilmington.
That's because you're an instrument of chaos. It probably is, though. I don't know this. How big is Wilmington? Does our guy? Can you give me how long is it going to take me to drone shot it up?
Well, it's called the Port City. Battleship is on the river. A battleship memorial. A lot of movies and TV are filmed in Wilmington.
Oh my! It's the gateway to Cape Fear Coast. Only 115,000 people versus America's largest, some would argue.
Queens
city.
is gorgeous.
I don't think Queens is gorgeous, but I'm trying to, as far as I can, to get New York City to advance.
Well, feels like you're leaning Wilmington as well.
It's got to be UNC.
All right, and then our matchup to punch a ticket out of the West region to the Final Four.
God.
Colorado State, UNC Wilmington.
It's. I knew it as soon as I saw it. Now, I don't know what thought you two gave to what region we would assign.
I randomly assigned it.
Assigned? Yeah. Yeah, Colorado State's campus is pretty good. I mean, it's got to be CSU. They're going to the Final Four, baby.
All right. Ram it all day and ram it all night.
That will be the one that breaks us, boys.
Three of our four.
That will be the one that breaks us.
It sounds like a new show T-shirt, Reese.
Well, I can't take credit for that. I think the Los Angeles Rams might sue us.
Just ram it, baby. All right, so 3/4 of the Final Four is done in this nonsense. Auburn and Colorado State in one, and then Baylor, and then the Midwest. We're doing mascot fight to the death. Is that what we're doing there in that one?
A lot of felines and dogs.
A lot of cats out there. Yeah, so this is going to be, cats versus some other things. Natural disasters are always sneaky in those. That's coming up at 11:17. We will also do some real bracket breakdown with Adam Finkelstein. He'll join us at 11:30. Jake Trotter is going to join us in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
It's March, and you know what that means. Bracket season. You've crunched the numbers, picked your favorites, and maybe even taken a big gamble on that Cinderella team. But when it comes to your home, gambling is not an option. Spring storms are rolling in, bringing strong winds, heavy rain, and unpredictable weather. The question is your roof ready? At Newman Roofing, we don't leave anything up to chance. Whether you need a new roof, gutter replacement, or updated siding, our expert team is here to educate you, guide you, and give you the best options to fit your home's needs. No high-pressure sales, no surprises, just top-quality work from a team you can trust. That's why homeowners choose Newman Roofing, the #1 overall seed here in Columbus, because we deliver an unbeatable customer experience every single time. So, don't wait until the damage is done. Beat the storm before it ruins your big dance. Call 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com to schedule your spot this spring. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Hi, Kevin. How's my engine doing?
Well, you tell me, little lady.
What?
Ma'am, an engine is delicate. It's got a lot of parts. Rub it together.
Oh, is that so?
Lube her up real nice, and she'll purr like a kitty cat.
How do you know so much about engines?
Well, I spent a lot of time under that hood.
Babe, she is running hot. Let's go. And next time, I get to play the mechanic.
Rev up the romance with Lion's Den, the official store of pleasure, passion, and romance.
I'm an old school Joe. I never lay juice I don't want to lay. I don't hate my money like that. I'd rather lay -108 than -110, wouldn't you? Prime Sports is Ohio's full-time reduced juice sports book. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Let me introduce you to a man with a magnificent salt and pepper beard. A man who's currently roasting lamb on a spit. A man who runs the Rocky River Greek Festival. That man is Jake Trotter.
Indeed he is, and he joins us every week at this time on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. What is your favorite memory of March Madness?
Well, one of them was
couple of years ago, I was in Columbus covering the regional, and I saw one of the 16-1 upsets, Fairleigh Dickinson beating Zach Edey and Purdue. And the coolest story from that regional was, I didn't realize this before, but the NCAA tournament mandates that you bring a band to your games. Fairleigh Dickinson doesn't have a band, school in New Jersey. So they asked the UD, the University of Dayton band, because they had played in the first round to get into the tournament, if the UD band would come over and become the Fairleigh Dickinson band. So everybody's expecting this obviously to be a one-game thing. Yeah. And 30 minutes before tip-off, the UD band was practicing the Fairleigh Dickinson fight song, which I believe is called Fairleigh Dickinson Fight Song. And lo and behold, Fairleigh Dickinson wins. So the UD band is like there in Columbus for the weekend. They went to Party City the next day. Fairleigh Dickinson is the Knights. They went to Party City and bought all these fake swords. So, like, throughout the entire game, the UD band was waving these Party City swords around and having the time of their lives. So that was a really fun regional. But I would have to say my favorite NCAA, I have two personal ones. One, I snuck, and they both involving me leaving school. I snuck out of high school. This would have been in like the late 90s.
Okay.
And went down to the old Myriad Gardens, which doesn't exist anymore, in downtown Oklahoma City, and watched the Valparaiso shot in that.
What? The Bryce Drew?
The Bryce Drew shot. I was there for that game. And then many years later in college, me and a buddy who was a Pitt fan, I went to school in Virginia. We said, if a team from Oklahoma and Pitt end up in the same regional, this is right before the selection show. We don't care where it is. We're going to it.
Okay.
Well, Pitt and Oklahoma State got paired in the Boston regional at the Fleet Center, and so this and two other guys, we drove up to Boston that weekend. We didn't have a place to stay. We didn't know what we were doing. I actually was invited to a dance that weekend. I had to cancel, which I still feel like a jerk about several years later. And we saw Carmelo Anthony and Jerry McNamara in that regional, and they went on to win the national championship that year. So I've always loved March Madness, and I've gotten to cover a lot of games, a lot of regionals over the years, and I've seen some great players, and I've seen multiple half-court shots to win the game in March Madness.
The Bryce Drew one is one that is mimicked. When I coach my boys in youth basketball, anytime we're in that spot, and anyone who's listening who's ever going to coach against me, I use the Bryce Drew shot all the time. It's one of the greatest play designs ever. To just have kind of the handoff to the guy running by. I mean, it's just it's a perfect play. I can't believe you're in the building for that. It's an all-timer.
It was an incredible regional because you had Kansas had, I want to say, Rafe LaFrentz. And I can't remember. Paul Pierce might have been on that team. Yeah, Paul Pierce, Rafe LaFrentz, and they lost in the second round to Rhode Island, which I believe, if I remember correctly, had Katina Mobley.
And Tyson Wheeler was the little guard. Yeah, had Katino Mobley and Tyson Wheeler. Yep.
Yeah, and they beat Kansas, which is a huge upset. I mean, Rafe LaFrentz and Paul Pierce, two of the all-time great Kansas basketball players. So yeah, I'm covering the Cleveland Regional this weekend. Excited to be down. I'll be down there all 4 days for shoot-arounds too, and love the tournament, Bo.
It's amazing how, and I'm sure I haven't covered it in a while, but I'm assuming it's still the same. It's like the last sporting event that still treats the media like kings. Like you're still courtside, right?
I'm courtside, which is really
that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, well, certainly in the NBA, you're not sitting courtside anymore, including at the Cavs games. But yeah, I'm courtside, and I'm courtside for, the Thursday, Friday games are great because I'm courtside. I'm courtside for 10 straight hours, maybe longer, because the way the games are scheduled this year. I'm going to be courtside for basically the entire day, and then just I'll take breaks and go get snacks, and I'll be working, but fun kind of work. I'll be writing, and hopefully I'll get some good stories to write about.
It's funny how this sport has changed so much. You think of some of the names that you mentioned, LaFrance and Pierce with those Kansas teams. You go even further back, and you think about 3 and 4 year guys were regular things. And now it feels like the whole country has to learn these teams on the fly every March. And yet it's like it doesn't matter. There's something about the bracket. There's something about the upset ability of it that it's still as popular as ever. It's a wild thing. The product is not as good as it was 20 years ago. There's no way. It's mostly older guys who've kind of bounced around or a bunch of young kids, but somehow the product has remained and the attention it still gets. Now, college basketball used to be like a year-round thing we follow, and now it's like for a month. But for this month, it's got the country by the throat.
College basketball has never been worse to follow, and the tournament has never been better, to be the way I would characterize it. And I don't really follow college basketball until a couple of weeks ago. It's not on my radar. I can't really follow it, through January anymore. And I just only have so much bandwidth. Like I'm familiar with, I know who the great players are. Mm-hmm. I have some vague idea of who the top 10 teams are, but I watch so much NBA now. I just can't. And you watch the NBA and then you watch college basketball in February, and it's a brutal juxtaposition. But for whatever reason, the tournament, it's something magical about it. And these teams play at a level that they haven't played at all year. And the endings are always incredible. I mean, I saw Texas hit a half-court shot to beat. Was it Northern Iowa that hit a half-court shot, or Texas? Somebody hit a half-court shot to beat the other team. I can't remember who hit it now. Yeah, 12 years ago. I mean, I've seen so many of those games. I saw Texas A&M come back from 11 points in 40 seconds. Parents the team had left the game and didn't even realize their sons had won. The finishes. I mean, even last night, I don't know if you saw I did. Alabama State game. I mean, they're kicking the ball around. Nobody can get a shot off, and all of a sudden they pull off the great finish at the end. I'm curious. This will be interesting to me as you're covering it, because I'm not even sure how this isn't your beat, so you may even not be aware of this, but the portal opens Monday for men's basketball. So yeah, it's ridiculous. There will be players who are eliminated, maybe even some who advance, who will jump in the portal on Monday after their first round games. It's not that dissimilar from college football where teams are. Players are leaving. There's one huge difference, though, Jake. At least that they can act like it has to do with academics to get them into the second semester. I mean, we all know that's not why that is, but at least you could hide behind that. What would be the reason for opening up a portal in the middle of a semester? Now, some schools are on a quarterly system. Even still, though, how many are left on that? Ohio State was one of the last. I don't know. Who's still on a quarterly system? Maybe it would line up for that, after spring break. But anybody, if we're still going to act like they're students, anybody transferring in the middle of March is punting on that semester, aren't they? I mean, it's just so stupid to do it now. That's why there's only 2 Big Ten teams that aren't in the big dance who are playing in postseason tournaments. It's Penn State and it's USC. That's it, because nobody else could field a roster. Right. If you're not in the NCAA tournament, I mean, good luck keeping your team together. It's a mess. Yeah. It is a mess, Bo. And it stinks. And so I'm curious, when you talk to folks and you talk to coaches this week up in Cleveland, that's got to be on their mind. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. I haven't thought about it this week, but no, you're absolutely right about the timing of it. And I mean, you would hate to see. Do we have precedent for I can't think of anyone leaving in the middle of the tournament, a key player. No, we've seen it in football with Penn State. We had it backup quarterback. That was the biggest. That was the name I was thinking of, because as you know, they used him. Like he was part of the gimmick package. Now I hated their gimmick package because, I never felt like it worked very well. But he was a really good backup quarterback. And we saw that in the Wisconsin game when Aller got hurt. I mean, Urbilla led them, to victory that day. And, you lose your quarterback for a quarter or two. I mean, look what happened with Georgia. That's a valuable piece to lose, in the middle of the playoff. So,
absolutely.
We could see, more of it. Who's the Browns quarterback going to be, Bo?
Oh, dude, we'll do that next time. We'll do that.
I thought you were going to ask me about that. I didn't have any good answers.
I needed a break. I know.
A break
from that, buddy. I don't know who it'll be. It'll be a rookie. That's the short answer. It'll be a rookie.
That's the best case scenario right now, I think.
Well, they're sitting at 2, so they're going to get one of them. So that's probably the way it's going to go. All right, buddy. Enjoy the tournament and the coverage of it, and we'll visit again soon.
Sounds good, Bo. Take care.
All right, there he goes. Jake Trotter, senior college football writer at ESPN on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. We hit Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed's Sponsored Jobs feature helps you stand out and hire fast. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Stop by Columbus Equipment in Columbus, Dayton, or Toledo to see their full line of Kubota construction equipment, or check them out online at ColumbusEquipment.com.
Guys, it's D. Miller. Let's talk about feeling your best. If you don't feel the same energy, strength, maybe feeling moody, or it seems you lost your drive with your partner, it could be low testosterone. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, may be the answer, and you'll find true experts at Low T Center. Getting tested is fast and easy. Don't settle for a standard dosage TRT program. I learned about the personalized therapy at Low T Center and the results you can expect with customized TRT. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Thanks. I got to warn you, I drive a hard bargain. Okay. So let's hear your first offer. Well, how about, with any 4-tire purchase, we'll give you a free alignment. Man, I'm good. All right, let's do it before you change your mind. And we'll also give you a free oil change. Ha! I can't believe I talked you into this deal. Sometimes I amaze even myself. Don't tell accounting. But with any 4-tire purchase at Tire Discounters, you get a free alignment and a free full synthetic oil change. See store for details.
Welcome to AT&T. How can I help?
Hey, I thought I could trust my twins with my phone, but they outnumber me, man.
Whoa, that's a lot of glitter paint.
Let's trade lives.
At AT&T, everyone can trade in an old or glittered iPhone, any year, any condition, and save on a new iPhone. Ask how to get iPhone 16 Pro on us. New and existing customers. Savings vary by device and trade-in combinations. Restrictions apply. See att.com for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Buying a home used to feel like a complete headache. Listings here, pre-approval there, financing somewhere else. Now, Rocket is giving every home one address. Rocket.com. A single seamless homeownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, and refinance your home. Everything you need, all under one roof. Visit Rocket.com, the new home for all things homeownership. Rocket. Own the dream.
Hi, are you lazy? Me too. But even the laziest of us still need to leave the house. So throw your pants on and follow all the tournament action with the Fan at ESPN Columbus.
He's not wearing any pants.
I'm not wearing any pants. The Fan.
Hear that? That's the sound of saving a good deal more when you shop with M-Perks at Meijer.
Some delicious blueberries, money saved. A creamy treat of cookie dough ice cream, that's money saved. Savings, savings, savings. Because every dollar spent is also 10 points earned in M-Perks, which you can use to save on your next grocery trip or up to $1 off per gallon on your next tank of gas. At Meijer, we work hard to help you save a good deal more for a whole lot less. That's bringing more good to life. Exclusions apply. See mperks.com for details.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever for a single line. Just $45 per month when you bring your phone, which is less than you spend on Too Tired to Cook takeout every week. Get one line on Unlimited Welcome for $45 per month with AutoPay plus taxes and fees. Visit your local Columbus Verizon store by April 2nd to save. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on Unlimited Welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The perfect show for quarter zips and khaki shorts. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a First Friday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Apex Plumbing Pros.
All right, earlier this morning, Kevin Seifert from ESPN reported, are told the Vikings are not pursuing Aaron Rodgers and don't consider him to be an option as they move into the next phase of the offseason. J.J. McCarthy atop the quarterback depth chart. Again, Rodgers Vikings was never likely, but it had been discussed. And then Adam Schefter a couple minutes ago reporting nothing related to Minnesota has altered Aaron Rodgers' timeline. One source monitoring Rodgers' potential decision about the 2025 season said this morning that the free agent quarterback is still in no rush at all. Thing or not a thing?
I believe we had this. I mean, last week Aaron Rodgers said, I think you can read the tea leaves here. He said, look, I'm not crazy about going to Pittsburgh. That's very much too similar to Green Bay and in terms of lifestyle, and I'd have to fit into their culture. Like, that doesn't feel like a fit. New York's not good enough. So he leaked it out there about Minnesota. In Minnesota, I said this yesterday or Monday, I can't even remember. If Minnesota wanted Aaron Rodgers, he'd be the starting quarterback there 2 days ago. I mean, that could have been done in 10 minutes. But they like J.J. McCarthy, and they do not want to upset that apple cart. There were people who talked about Minnesota trading McCarthy. They're not trading him. They loved him. Last year when they did the joint practice with the Browns, we found out about that the day of the first day of joint practices, and the reality was like J.J. McCarthy was going to be the number one quarterback for Minnesota last year. So no, I don't. I think this is a thing, but it's also something that was kind of plainly obvious when Rodgers wasn't a Viking by Saturday. Because if they wanted him, they would have just made it so.
Yeah, I don't think this is a thing because I don't think we ever believed that this was going to happen. It's a disappointing thing, though, because I really wanted him to complete the Brett Favre path. God, I really wanted that from him. From someone who seemed like he didn't want that at all, it to happen, that would have made me very happy.
We already talked about this earlier in the show, but in case you missed it, Indiana on Tuesday hired former West Virginia and Drake head men's basketball coach Darian DeVries. DeVries heads to Bloomington with 24 years of Division I experience, but just one with the Mountaineers. The Indianapolis Star is reporting IU's buyout commitment to West Virginia is likely to top $6 million. That's a record for the university and believed to be one of the highest numbers for a college basketball coach ever. College basketball reporter Jeff Goodman says DeVries is also expected to bring with him his son Tucker, whom when healthy is one of the better players in the country. The 22-year-old forward shut it down after 8 games due to an ongoing shoulder issue, and I add that it was surgically repaired. Tucker is a 6'7", 220-pound guard. He was the 2-time Missouri Valley Player of the Year in his 3 seasons at Drake. Thing or not a thing?
Do you think, I think the last part's really interesting. Do you think that they were more willing to pay that buyout because they got the kid too?
Yes.
That's what I think. I mean, as you're reading this and you're getting to the point about, $6 million on the buyout, you're basically getting an NIL along with it, right? So you're getting one of the best transfer guys in the portal, instant impact guy who's going to give you minutes and points and production right away, and you're getting his dad who's a coach. I don't know if this guy, who knows? They've tried everything at Indiana. I'll tell you one of the big sliding doors moments is if Kelvin Sampson could have just stayed there, because you see what he's done at Houston, and he was probably the one to do it. They had a little bit. Tom Crean had a run a little bit with Cody Zeller, and they had a little bit of a stretch there. But it's really Sampson is the one that's the great what if. So I think this is a thing because my hunch is they're willing to pay the $6 million buyout because they're getting the kid too.
I wish we could give someone in Indiana some truth serum and say, is this really the guy they wanted? I mean, they moved pretty quick, so they must have identified him early in the process. But I would think you would want to wait and possibly talk to a Chris Beard, possibly talk to a Will Wade. I know there's issues there, but I mean, I would think Indiana basketball, I know it's fallen off, but it's still a name, and I would think that would be attractive to a lot of coaches. Maybe this is the right hire. I don't know. Maybe Darian DeVries will go there and bring his son with him, and they'll start something at Indiana. Maybe they can keep Malik Renault, but kind of surprising they move so fast.
The only thing I wonder is just portal opening Monday, they didn't want to waste any more time. Had to get organized with that. It's
because now they can focus on keeping anybody on their roster they'd like.
They want, and then they have this kid who's going to come in and immediately buoys their chances.
In a phone call Tuesday, President Trump and Russia's Vladimir Putin discussed hockey between the United States and Russia. This is according to the Russian government, so take it with the largest grain of salt you possibly can. Trump and Putin discussed, quote, hockey matches in the USA and Russia between Russian and American players playing in the NHL and the KHL. Shortly after this was announced, the NHL in a statement said, we have just become aware of the conversation between Trump and Putin. Obviously, we are not a party to those discussions, and it would be inappropriate for us to comment at this time. The NHL and the KHL have played exhibition games in the past, one in 2008, a couple in 2010. The league suspended its dealings with the KHL in March of 2022 after Russia invaded Ukraine. It's also terminated its broadcast agreement with Russian television. Russia's been banned from international competition since, and that ban's been extended to exclude the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan. Thing or not a thing?
I mean, I am the biggest fan ever of us against the Soviet Union, the former Soviet Union. I think in my youth, that was critical. You think of Red Dawn, among other things, where it was always us and the behind the Iron Curtain and how formidable they all were, the hunt for Red October and so forth and so on. But I don't know that I want to be buddies with them either, and this is kind of what this feels like. But that's probably about as far as you need to go on it. But I don't know how. I mean, they're banned from everything internationally for a long. To your point, all the way through the 2026 Olympics. So I guess we'd be doing something that nobody else in the world is doing if we actually went through with this.
Hey, can you stop bombing other countries for a second so we can talk some hockey? Makes a lot of sense.
Good Lord.
We talked about this, about Fran Brown yesterday. Now him and Deion Sanders want to save spring scrimmages. Fran Brown's also trying to build a successful football program at Syracuse, and he's trying to do it by helping out with his players' futures.
Every Wednesday from 2:30 to 3 o'clock, our players are doing financial literacy. So that someone's coming in and they teach us 2 to 3 things. I don't want the guys to get too much more because sometimes it's information overload and our guys are like, okay, I'm worried about practice right now. So we give them 2 to 3 things and then I'll ask those questions so we can touch base on it to know it. So our players will all have LLCs, right? We're trying to teach them to be able to go do all the right things so that they can be super successful, whether they make it to the NFL or not, right? They'll be successful in life just because they were on our football team, right? They'll be successful in life because, just imagine, I know for me growing up, a young kid going to college as a freshman, I get to know who runs the bank. That's not normal, right? So now you get to do different things and we want to expose them to all of this stuff so that way when the next people come in, I want to make sure that we leave this way better than we found it so they understand how Syracuse get that good. Because Community Bank decided to step up and go do this. Myers Creek decided to do certain things when it came to SU football NIL, and then the players just started to come and they educate their players. So now all those players that left, they're always coming back, right? And that's how you build a program and not just a football team.
Thing or not a thing?
I think it's a pretty smart thing for him. It reminded me of an NFL owner who was interviewing a coach that all of you are very familiar with. And the coach who you are all very familiar with said to the NFL coach, I'd like to do something from the players to teach them how to manage their money a little bit when we give them these contracts. And the owner said, essentially, that's what the money's for. They can figure that on their own. So this would be a step in the opposite direction of that. So I think it's a smart thing for him to separate and get guys a little bit more financially literate. It's a lot of money that's coming quick.
Yeah, it's a super smart thing, and I don't know if other schools do something like this. I feel like they should. My dad has always said that football players and basketball players should have to take financial classes as part of their curriculum because they could possibly be dealing with so much money. So, yeah, I think this is a great thing, smart thing. I'm glad that he got the plug in there for the banks that were helping them with this as well.
Pretty smart. Final hour on a First Friday. Hey, guys, coming up next, winner here gets the $50 gift card to our great friends at iBank. You can still access our buddies' minds here on the YouTube chat and also on the X platform at 971BFS. That's coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.
Rockman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
When you reach for UDF's new pizza, you're getting more than just a quick slice. You're getting family recipe focaccia dough, handcrafted in our bakery. You're biting into a hot, crispy crust. You're tasting delicious sauce and loads of meaty, cheesy flavor. You might even be burning the roof of your mouth on that first bite, but that's okay. It's a good burn. UDF makes more than just pizza. We make pizza for you. New Sicilian-style pizza from United Dairy Farmers at participating locations. UDF, made for you.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Are you sick of the Ohio winter weather like me? Well, spring camping is almost here, and deals are blooming at RCD RV. From March 15th through the 29th, take advantage of our spring savings event. Over 800 new and pre-owned RVs in stock. Let us help plan a springtime adventure for you. New travel trailers starting as low as $12,995. Campers for every single budget. Visit the locations, Delaware, Heath, and Pataskala, or shop online at rcdrv.com. Don't wait. RCD RV is your destination for springtime adventure.
Hi, Kevin. How's my engine doing?
Well, you tell me, little lady.
What?
Ma'am, an engine is delicate. It's got a lot of parts rubbing together.
Oh, is that so?
Lube her up real nice, and she'll purr like a kitty cat.
How do you know so much about engines?
Well, I spent a lot of time under that hood.
Babe, she is running hot. Let's go. And next time, I get to play the mechanic.
Rev up the romance with Lion's Den, the official store of pleasure, passion, and romance.
I'm an old school Joe, and my philosophy is simple and effective. At the end of the day, it's not what you win or lose, it's what you save. And betting reduced juice at Prime Sports Ohio is the way to save money on every single bet. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Bets are us when dreams don't get in. Bets are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
Bets are us when dreams don't get in. Bets are us.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and, of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
Spring forward, Columbus, with the Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling Services. We're here to thaw you out with this limited time offer. Get up to $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer is too good to pass up. The Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling now together to serve you better with $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer won't last. Call us today, 614-232-2222. That's 614-232-2222.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The football Buckeyes wrapped up day 2 of spring practice on Tuesday. Ohio State confirmed their annual pro day will be next Wednesday, March 26th. Spring football will culminate with the spring showcase. Don't call it a game on Saturday, April 12th. In college hoops, the big dance continues tonight with the final 2 first 4 play-in games over in Dayton. Mount St. Mary's plays American tonight at 6:40. Xavier and Texas go around 9:10. The Ohio State women's basketball team begins their NCAA tournament Friday at the Shot, hosting Montana State at 5:30. Winner gets Tennessee or South Florida in the second round Sunday at the Shot. In the NBA tonight, the Cavaliers look to halt a 2-game slide. Cleveland's at Sacramento at 10 o'clock, and the Blue Jackets host the Florida Panthers tomorrow night at 7. We'll have that game on the Fan with pregame coverage at 6:30. This update sponsored by Germain Toyota, the best selection of new and used cars in Central Ohio. View their full selection of vehicles online at germaintoyota.net.
They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour here on a first Friday. Time for a little Hey Guys. Hit it, fellas.
Nothing is off limits. Your participation is required. Just use the hashtag HeyGuys and ask anything you want. Do it now.
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery, home of the best blended whiskey in America. Grab a bottle or dine in at their 3 restaurant locations, Grandview, Gahanna, and now in Westerville. Drink local. Drink High Bank.
Indeed, and the best one here receives that $50 gift card to our great friends at High Bank, the distillery tour and tasting for up to 10 as well. High Bank Distillery, home of that best blended whiskey in America, 3 years running. It's right here in town. Scoop it up. Go ahead, boys.
All right, we got questions coming into the YouTube chat as well as X at 971BFS there. Just the YouTube chat is where you want to submit those questions live and in real time. Rand asks, hey guys, other than Jeopardy, what's your favorite game show? Although I don't know if we've ever said which is our favorite game show.
Yeah.
Jeopardy might not be it.
Old school Hollywood Squares was pretty good. There was a game. I'll tell you what it is. It's Family Feud. Family Feud, old school.
You mean Baby Billy's Bible Bunkers?
Baby Billy's Bible Bunkers. Yes, that is just, boy, the episode 2, he threw a heater. A lot of gas from Walton Goggins in that one, a lot of it. Yeah, I think Family Feud is old school Family Feud was pretty good, where they were like smoking cigarettes. Yeah, I'm going to go that one. I'm going to go old school Family Feud.
So I'll even go new Family Feud with Steve Harvey. I think it's hilarious. I think he does a great job as well. I just think that's a great game show. I remember we used to play that online. You could do it online somehow, and we did that game. It was a great one. I will also give you Old School Price is Right as well. I think Old School Price is Right was pretty darn good. If you missed school for any reason, that was appointment viewing.
Buddy, they were Barker's beauties. Like,
Classic.
come on, Bob. Jeez.
I mean, Jeopardy with Alex Trebek was good, and the SNL parodies that came from that were even better. But
Were better, yeah.
Honestly, for me, the Regis Philbin hosted Who Wants to Be a Millionaire
that was good.
Became appointment viewing to the point of where my grandma bought like the cards from those games, and we'd go and like when we'd go out to eat, we'd sit and then we just play that game.
Play that.
All right, Matt asks in the YouTube chat, hey guys, if you can take one Thursday off from work with all the screens at home, are you choosing the Masters first round or the opening day of the NCAA tournament?
I think I'd go NC2As. The Masters, if the Masters final round was like pushed to a Monday, then I would probably go that. But it's not like you have to watch all of it and they go off in flights. Like, I think I'll go NCAA, Matt.
Yeah, no, sorry, Matt, I'm not picking on you, but I can't believe this is even a question. Like, and I know nowadays you can have multiple screens and multiple different holes up on the Masters, so you can watch Amen Corner and you can watch the par threes and all of that, but the first Thursday of the NCAA tournament is undefeated.
It's so much fun.
So good.
Agreed. Michael asks on Twitter, hey guys, which would make a better 30 for 30? The 2020 Columbus Crew winning MLS Cup or 2020 NCAA tournament that never was and the story of Obi Toppin and the Dayton Flyers?
All right, so both are linked with the pandemic. The crew side of it would also have some Save the Crew components to it. That would be pretty cool. I think the 30 for 30 though on Dayton, Obi Toppin, and here's why. Because the pandemic shut it down before it started. So that was last weekend, 5 years ago when it happened. It was conference championship weekend, the Thursday of conference championship weekend. And so, like, what you could probably do is, like, the lead into that, like the conversations behind closed doors about, are we going to play or are we not going to play? You could set it up with Dayton, which is this basketball mad town, and school and all of it. And they have this generational team that never gets a chance to reach for the ultimate prize. So that one, to me, I'm going to go that one with a slight lean over the Crew in 2020. Just a slight lean.
I'm with you, Bo. I think that anything COVID related with that COVID aspect to it would be good. And I understand that was part of the Crew's season, but that was peak COVID when the NCAA tournament got canceled, right? And all of that. And we were just starting to deal with it. So, yeah, I think the Dayton 2020 tournament COVID aspect, I think that would get a lot of eyeballs.
Zachary asks on Twitter, hey guys, just started coaching a 12U softball team. Have any tips for coaching?
Yeah, I do. I have 3 rules that I use to start every practice. Number 1, listen. So coaches talk, you don't. Pretty simple. If I don't see your eyes, that means you're not listening to me. So that's always number 1. Number 2 is try your best. Give full effort every time. I don't care if you win or lose or how good you are at something, but if you give full effort, then that's a win. And number 3 is have fun. It has to be fun for the kids. So don't take yourselves or them too seriously. And the crazy thing is, if they listen and if they try their best, number 3 is a layup. It's so easy. But remember that last part, because I think sometimes in youth sports, we lose out on the have fun component.
Yeah, it's funny. The 2 things that popped into my head right away, Bo, you've said both of them, especially at that age. Try your hardest. Play hard all of the time and make sure you have fun. You're going to lose a lot of them if you don't have any fun, so make sure you have fun. And then I think lots of trips afterwards to get ice cream, because then you can get some ice cream as well.
You can't believe what a win that is. Like when I surprise, like at the youth basketball teams I coach with, like in a random February, hey, let's go get ice cream. Halfway through practice, like they lose their minds. So, yeah, those are wins.
Yeah, I was bad at sports, but the one thing I gravitated to was quality snacks. So you have those, you have my attention. Logan asks in the YouTube chat, hey guys, best fast food breakfast?
Oh. I still think it's probably the Egg McMuffin for me. I think. I'll tell you what. Oh my gosh, we used to call them Scooby snacks. Steak and Shake. Steak and Shake makes a damn good one too. We called them Scooby snacks. Those are always pretty good.
So I think breakfast as a whole, you can't beat McDonald's because they have the best options and the most variety. But I will say two things that I think are underrated at breakfast time is a Sonic breakfast griller, which they do a breakfast sandwich basically like a grilled cheese. And then the Chick-fil-A spicy chicken biscuit breakfast is undefeated.
Here's what I would say, though. Like, that's not really breakfast.
One's a hamburger, the other's a chicken sandwich.
It's just a chicken sandwich on a biscuit.
The Sonic is it's actually egg and cheese and bacon or sausage.
To me, there has to be an egg involved for it to be breakfast. So, like, I like those things too. In fact, probably scoop something like that up tomorrow in some place. But at the same time, like, that is not that's a cheat code out of Chick-fil-A because that's just their chicken sandwich is all that thing is, except a mini variety.
The breakfast California Crunch Wrap from Taco Bell is so damn good.
That feels like a win.
That could be that and Wendy's French toast sticks. Like, I don't do fast food often. I don't do fast food breakfast hardly ever. But if I do, I'm going to Taco Bell. And then I'm going to Wendy's. Like, I'll go to different places and acquire different items. That is like the beauty of being in Grandview where things are not 2 minutes away from each other. All right, we're back to the YouTube chat. We've got, let's see here, the Seatown Brown asks, hey, guys, what's your go-to airport beverage?
I got kids now, man. So I got to hydrate while I have a chance. I'm going to be doing, now they're getting older, so they can kind of handle their own business. So I try to go ultra healthy when I travel now, especially with the family. So if there is a joint that'll sling like some sort of a juice option, I'll do a green juice. I'll do something like that. I don't ever delve into the waters of alcohol with the children. I don't do that. So that's out of the mix. So in the old days, I did like an airport beer is pretty undefeated, but that's in the old days. It's been a long time since I've done that.
I don't have to worry about them kids, so I'm consuming the alcohol at the airport. I don't care what time it is. You're right, a tall draft beer at the airport, undefeated. But give me a tall double Captain and Coke. I'm ready for that flight.
Is there anything that makes you more that's a bold strategy, Cotton. Is there anything that makes you more uncomfortable on a plane than a passenger who continually tries to get drunk in flight in the morning?
It's the worst. They just can't handle it.
Yeah, they can't handle it, and they keep asking for more and more. I need another one. Actually, that's all you can have, sir. I want one more. No. You're good. It's 7 in the morning.
Be responsible.
Yeah,
the tall draft beer is pretty good. I was flying out of Heathrow a couple of years ago and had a Guinness prior to a flight.
There you go.
That sets you up pretty good for an Atlantic voyage.
That's a win.
We got to pick a winner.
Was it Matt? Was Matt in the YouTube chat with the Masters first round NCAA?
That was Matt. Yep.
All right, let's go, Matt. Matt, you're the big winner in the bar tonight. You get the $50 gift card to our great friends at High Bank, the distillery tour and tasting for up to 10. When you're talking about High Bank, you're talking about the best blended whiskey in America. Stop by the 3 locations, Grandview, Gahanna, Westerville. Enjoy those award-winning spirits for your next happy hour. Drink local, drink High Bank. We close our brackets out. It is a mascot fight to the death in the Midwest. It's coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Common Man here. I take my job as endorser for Germain Lexus very seriously. I want to make sure that every Lexus on the lot meets my expectations. That's why I personally sit in each one. I massage the leather. Sometimes I take a nap in the back seat. If that's not a selling point, I don't know what is. Deal time. Lease the 2025 ES350 for as low as $409 per month, or get 3.49% financing up to 60 months on their most popular new Lexus models. 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton. Check them out online, GermainLexus.com.
A pepperoni pizza for the table.
Thank you.
May I suggest trying it with our Pepsi Zero Sugar? It has just the right amount of sweetness to complement all that cheesy, saucy goodness, while the carbonation and notes of citrus enhance the flavor profile. Simply divine.
Pepsi Zero Sugar? You've really outdone yourself this time. Pizza deserves Pepsi.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hit a home run for happy hour and ask your Twin Peaks girl about local specials on drafts, cocktails, shots, and more.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Hey, Ohio State fans. While others cut corners, like that team up north, Valvoline Instant Oil Change is Buckeye-level quality. We train hard and treat every day like game day. We're always quick, but never rushed. And you can stay in your car while our experts do the work. Valvoline Instant Oil Change is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Visit valvoline.com/Buckeyes to find your nearest location and access exclusive fan savings.
March is on at Lindsay Honda. Shoot your shot and save. It's madness. You get to choose your finance rate on over 600 new Lindsay Hondas. 0%, 1.9, 2.9, and up to a full 60 months long. And no trade-in required. This deal works with 0 down. March is on at Lindsay Honda. Save with rates as low as 0% at lindsayhonda.com.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference.
See lindsayhonda.com for details.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Goes to Rothman and Ice has been named the best midday show in the country by our industry peers.
A winner if ever there was one.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Also, Common Man and T-Bone has been named best show at Sucking. The Fan.
Springtime is here, and you know what that means. It's time for Mulch Madness. Did you know that too much mulch is bad for trees and shrubs? 2 inches of mulch is plenty. Any more and you risk causing roots to grow up and around trunks, which increases unhealthy stress, shortens tree life, and even keeps moisture from getting down to tree roots. To find out more about Mulch Madness or to find a certified arborist near you, visit treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A red flag warning has been issued for parts of southeast Ohio today. Gusty winds could cause any sparks or flames to get out of hand. It'll be cloudy and windy, winds up to 35 miles per hour. Today's high around 72. It'll be cloudy and rainy tomorrow, highs in the 40s. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Here's a listener tweet. Are men and Bone stupid in real life? Yes. Yes, they are. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan. Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Well, that bracket is set. It's your turn to make your picks. Join the Fan and 10 TV Bracket Challenge. Compete against your favorite Fan and 10 TV personalities. And the best part of it, the top bracket wins $1,000. But hurry, the deadline is Thursday at noon. Head to 971thefan.com to enter now. The Fan and the 10 TV Bracket Challenge is sponsored by Mountain Dew, Ohio Bottled, and Buckeye Bold. I did one. I had the boys do one. And then we are doing one right now here on the program with a varying set of criteria. So we are in the Midwest now, I do believe. It's all we've got left. What is our criteria here, fellas?
So our criteria for the Midwest, and this is going to be interesting on a couple, is mascots fight to the death.
The actual mascot, or right, like if it's alive, like what they are.
Yes.
Not like, not like Smokey out there running around, like the actual volunteer.
Yes,
That's what we're doing?
correct.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good.
And it's going to be interesting because our first two matchups actually have the same mascot. The 1 versus the 16. We've got the Houston Cougars and the SIU Edwardsville Cougars.
They're both Cougars?
Both Cougars.
Well, then we'll cheat here and go the Houston Cougar, more formidable. Cougars, by the way, as a kid growing up, I feared them far more than grizzly bears because those guys are in trees and they drop on you. Grizzly bears you can hear coming.
The sneak attack, element of surprise.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So now we head to the 8-9 where we've got the Gonzaga Bulldogs taking on the Georgia Bulldogs.
Listen, I've seen Uga in person. That guy's not too formidable, but he's got courage. He went right at Bevo.
He went after Bevo.
And so give me Uga and give me the Georgia Dogs.
So that will set up a 1-9 in the next round. The next matchup is the 5-12. We've got the Clemson Tigers taking on the McNeese State Cowboys.
Cowboys got guns. I'm sorry, Shere Khan. You're on the outside looking in. I think the guns win. It's got to be guns up. Give me McNeese.
In the 4-13, the Purdue Boilermakers, which I'm sure a Boilermaker's got to be tough,
like
right?
A sledgehammer?
Taking on the High Point Panthers.
Oh, my God.
If you connect with that sledgehammer, the Panthers lights out. But if you miss, you're getting mauled to death.
I mean, we're talking about like a Black Panther, right? Is that what the mascot is? That's the High Point mascot, like a Black Panther?
Yeah, a literal panther.
I think that's beating one guy who's working in a Boilermaker, someone who feeds a train, right? Isn't that the whole operation? Like you feed the
so
train?
then I guess he's just got a shovel.
So the Boilermaker, I believe, is like a steel or iron worker that helps make the boilers.
Okay.
And then they will also work on them. And
listen, I got a lot of respect for that industry. Oddly enough, I worked in the steel industry a little bit. And by that, I mean, I helped weld parts for truck bodies. I did that for a summer until I got I didn't get COVID. It was actually, what's the other thing you get? The one you get, you can't wait, and you're out for like a month.
Mono.
Mono. I got that one. That was great. I'm going to go with the Panther. High Point.
Couple of upsets there in those matchups. So how are we doing this? So we've got number 6, the Illinois Fighting Illini, and they will be taking on either your beloved Bevo, the Texas Longhorns, or the Xavier Musketeers.
Three-way.
I think either way, I like the Illini. I mean, that is that is a chief. That is, I know that they don't do that anymore, but that's what they were named after. A musketeer could be formidable, but that's before gunpowder, right? So I think I'll go. Yeah,
swashbuckling. I'm going with an Illini.
I'm going to go Illini here.
Yep. Okay. Illinois moving on. The 3-14, we've got the Kentucky Wildcats versus the Troy Trojans.
I mean, we've all seen Troy. Those guys are formidable. They're beating a cat. I mean, that's an easy one.
The 7-10, we've got the UCLA Bruins versus the Utah State Aggies, short for agriculturalists.
The farmers.
So farmers against bears?
Mauled by a bear. Well, depends on the farmers. Are they armed?
Well, I don't think so. I think they're just focused on the agriculture.
All right, then.
So they have a hoe or whatever.
Need more than that.
Yeah, give me the bear.
I'm fighting a bear with a shovel here.
It's a bad plan. How do we do Tennessee? Are we talking just a person?
It's the volunteer. I think it's Davy Crockett.
They were volunteer fighters in the war.
So what are they? Are they armed with anything? Because Wofford's a terrier.
Oh God, yeah. Give me the. Yeah, because it's volunteers. Yeah, the volunteer army. All right. I think it's they got weapons.
They got a gun?
They got a gun.
All right, so let's move on to our second round matchups. We've got the Houston Cougars versus the Georgia Bulldogs.
Uga stands no chance. Uga would be kitty food in 10 seconds.
You need a couple friends.
That's a rout. He would need a whole herd of Ugas to take on one Cougar. Cougars are terrifying.
Would you rather fight one Cougar or 10 Ugas?
10 Ugas. Easy.
I saw a couple Bulldogs take on a groundhog once, and that didn't end well for the groundhog, but a groundhog's not a Cougar.
I'm going to be honest. I think in North America, I think a Cougar, which is a mountain lion, I think it's the most I think of all the things I'd be most fearful of, I think it would be that.
So
I mean, the Jaguar would have it around globally, in terms of land. I feel like Cougars, man, because you don't see them. You never see them.
You don't see them until you feel it.
Until too late, dude. Then next snap, game, set, match.
They're strong as hell, too. I've seen them pull some huge animals around.
Yeah, Cougars are formidable.
We've got a couple of upsets here, a 12 versus a 13. The McNeese State Cowboys and the High Point Panthers.
Again, we're talking pistols, right? Or do we say that they're... I think it's got to be McNeese, fellas.
Got a gun.
I think he got a gun.
He might, in this case, have two guns. If he's got pocket pistols, then he's able to get a couple shots off, and probably
don't miss.
Good enough of a Cowboy is going to put down anything.
I would think, yeah.
We've got a human-human battle here, the Fighting Illini versus the Troy Trojans.
Well, I mean, Troy, you're talking, I mean, that's BC area, right? I mean, that's a long time ago. The advancement in weaponry to the time of Chief Olenewick. Bow and arrow versus, I mean, do they have bow and arrow in or is it just still like swords and that's it?
Well, so that's how Achilles was taken out in Troy. You got a bow and arrow to the back of the leg. So it's similar fighting, similar weapons. I just would say Troy, if they've got armor.
Oh, the armor component. Okay.
Seems unfair, but.
Yeah, Troy. Yeah, that's fine. The armor component.
And now we have got a 2-7. We've got the UCLA Bruins versus the Tennessee Volunteers.
It's got to be the Volunteer. He's going to have a musket. It's one shot, but he's got the one shot. He's just got to hit.
Moving along to the Sweet 16, we got a Cougar versus a Cowboy.
It's not just a Cowboy, a Rough Rider.
It's a Rough Rider. Is that what it is? So it's like Teddy Roosevelt, like that type? That's what the McNeese thing is?
I think they're just the Cowboys.
Just Cowboys. I just think, like, the key here is, does the Cowboy see it coming? Because if the Cowboys just herding cattle and cougar in a tree, you're not pulling those guns quick enough. And I would just tell you, in all of the years that I herded cattle in mountainous areas, I never even saw one. Not once did I see a cougar. And they were all over. I never saw one. They're like ninjas. I could go either way here. I think it just, if they see the cougar, then I'll tell you what, the Cowboys got a hit on the shot. He misses the shot, and it's game, set, match.
I tend to err on the side of the gun, but
yeah, it's probably fair. Give me McNeese.
Houston probably would have been better for our bracket, but
Will Wade is. If this happens, right. Will Wade's going to be the coach at Kentucky by the end of the weekend, and they love Mark Pope.
The Troy Trojans versus the Tennessee Volunteers.
Musket.
So we've got the Vols and the Cowboys.
Now, I think you have to go Volunteers here because you're talking about multiple of them, whereas Cowboys only... I mean, these guys are volunteering to fight. They both have artillery. They're volunteering to fight, whereas like the McNeese Cowboys would probably only fight if they had to. So I think it's a mentality thing here, and I think Tennessee would, the Volunteers, multiple, ready to fight for region and all the other things. So I'll go Volunteers.
So we have a pretty decent Final Four here. We've got Auburn, Baylor, Tennessee, and Colorado State.
Well, if by defining pretty decent you mean we have a 1 and a 2 somehow in it, then yes, the others are a little more dicey there. We will we'll pick our Final Four and our championship coming up at the end of the program. In terms of the actual brackets, we're going to try and get a little bit smarter with our buddy Adam Finkelstein. He joins us coming up next. That's in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived, the only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey guys, it's Anthony Rothman. Let's talk about feeling your best. If you don't feel that same energy, strength, maybe you're feeling moody or it seems you've lost your drive with your partner, it could be low testosterone. You have to go see the true experts at Low T Center. Getting tested is fast and easy. I learned all about the personalized therapy at Low T Center and the results you can expect with customized TRT. So don't put it off any longer. Go to lowtcenter.com and book that appointment. lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
Welcome to AT&T. How can I help?
Hey, I thought I could trust my twins with my phone, but they outnumber me, man.
Whoa, that's a lot of glitter paint.
Let's trade lives.
At AT&T, everyone can trade in an old or glittered iPhone any year, any condition, and save on a new iPhone. Ask how to get iPhone 16 Pro on us. New and existing customers. Savings vary by device and trade-in combinations. Restrictions apply. See att.com for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Buying a home used to feel like a complete headache. Listings here, pre-approval there, financing somewhere else. Now, Rocket is giving every home one address. Rocket.com. A single seamless homeownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, and refinance your home. Everything you need, all under one roof. Visit Rocket.com, the new home for all things homeownership. Rocket. Own the dream.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Federal Elite Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Drink recommendations, movie reviews, sports discussion, and whatever the hell Reeser does. This is Bishop and Friends.
Well, the madness started last night. It will continue today over in Dayton, and then the big boy tourney starts on Thursday. Let's get a little smarter if you're still filling out your brackets. Adam Finkelstein joins us, college basketball insider at CBS Sports and director of scouting at 24/7. Adam, thank you so much for taking the time. What is one thing that you feel most certain about as we kick this thing off for real on Thursday?
The thing that I feel most certain about is that nothing is for sure. I think a couple weeks ago, the narrative was that it was Auburn and Duke versus the field. That is no longer the way people are talking. Duke obviously has some injury concerns. Auburn has come down to earth a little bit, losing 3 of 4. But I think at the end of the day, now we are acknowledging what has always been the case, is that there's multiple teams that have a chance to get to San Antonio, and probably 6 or 7, maybe even 8 that have a chance to call themselves national champions when it's all said and done.
Isn't it something, Adam, how this sport has evolved so much over the last couple of decades? The NIL, the one and done, all of those things. And while maybe for the general public, college basketball is kind of a month of March thing, the actual bracket kind of and the actual tournament kind of remains undefeated. And unlike in, a couple of decades ago when maybe you knew all the rosters on all these teams, you basically learn them on the fly over the course of the next 3 weeks. It still is as good a sporting event as you're going to find.
Yeah, I mean, I'm biased, obviously, but I think it's the best time of year. I thought, even last night in the first 4, to have that game between Alabama State and St. Francis, 2 teams that the 99.9% of the general public has never heard of, and it was an absolute delight. Couldn't have been a more entertaining ending, and that was really a microcosm for what's to come over the course of the next 3 weeks, and it's why I think it is the greatest sporting event in the country.
Yeah, where do you stand on the one thing that I've been a proponent of really since they started the first 4 is to have it all be bubble teams and let the Alabama States. I mean, they had a showcase last night, but I've covered that first 4 and I've covered the NCAA tournament, and those are 2. Dayton does a great job, but it's not the same. Where do you kind of sit on that?
It's ironic you asked me that, because I was in the studio last night and we were watching this game, and in studio, my host asked me, he said, okay, what do they have to do to get ready for Auburn? And I was kind of taken aback, and I said, maybe just enjoy this win for a while, because, that's the thing. I mean, I totally see your point that they won their league. They should be in the league outright, but they got a showcase and a platform last night that they weren't otherwise going to get, because unless something totally unexpected happens, like UMBC versus Virginia, nobody's going to remember Alabama State after this Auburn game, but they will remember what happened last night. And because of that, I think, I said on camera last night, we're 20 days away from hearing Luther Vandross in one shining moment, and now Alabama State's going to be in that. It wouldn't have been that case otherwise.
It's a great point out of you. The other thing that they have now is an NCAA tournament win, and there's big value that comes with that. So that is the counter, certainly, to my argument of the bubble teams. What do you make about what Carolina did last night? Obviously, a lot of controversy surrounding them actually getting in, but they took full advantage. I actually think they could be kind of dangerous, too, in the next round. What do you make of what the Heels did last night?
I totally agree with you. I think they are dangerous. They looked like a different team than we had seen all season long. It's not that they hadn't been impressive in stretches, but they hadn't put it together for 40 minutes. So the two things that really stood out to me is, one, R.J. Davis played like the player that we expected him to be at the beginning of the season. That's the guy who won ACC Player of the Year last year. He wasn't that guy for most of the season, quite frankly, but last night he was. And if he can play like that throughout the rest of the tournament, then North Carolina should be considered in line with where they were considered to start this season, which is a top 10 program in the country. So, and then the other thing, they've rallied around the adversity as well. So I think they are for real, and they should certainly, I think they're even favored in Vegas now heading into to Thursday night.
Yeah, that makes sense to me as well. Let's kind of go region by region. Let's start in the region where Carolina is. They're the 11 to Ole Miss's 6. Auburn, the number 1 overall seed in the entire tournament. You mentioned 3 out of 4 losses. Pearl's been there for a while. He's knocked on the door a lot. Is this the team that gets him to the Final Four?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, the thing with Auburn that everybody needs to understand is there are a lot of things. They're one of the best offensive teams in the country. They're top 10 defensively, but they're also just old, and I mean that very literally. I mean, everybody in that starting lineup, I think, is 22 years old. So when you're talking about them versus, say, a Duke team, and I know they're not in the same region, but Duke starts 3 18-year-olds. So it's just a vast physical difference that Auburn has because of the level of physical maturity, the depth that they've had, having to play without Janai Broom there for a few weeks when he went out with the ankle injury, and showing they could persevere through that adversity. So I think this is Bruce Pearl's best team. I do expect them to be the favorite to get to San Antonio. Whether or not they can win the national championship, only time will tell.
All right, let's head to the West now on your bracket, folks. If you're out there listening, this would be the one just below the South, Florida, the top seed here. I love when the committee, they do this every year, but I love when the committee does what they do at the bottom, which is like Kansas against Arkansas. But, of course, that's Self and Calipari. And then the winner there likely would get Pitino in the second round. So I love that bottom kind of quad down there, or that bottom pod down there, if you will. And then the Gators have been one of the real stories over the last month.
Yeah, the committee does this every year, and there's 3 or 4 examples of just good cinema. You've got like Jeremy Roach at Baylor, who played with Duke for 4 years. Baylor could play Duke in the second round. I don't think that's a coincidence. New Mexico against Marquette, basically giving Richard Pitino all of Rick Pitino's scouting reports from the Big East season. I mean, there's so many different things. Like, how about Will Wade playing Clemson, his alma mater? So I don't think this was an accident. Self versus Calipari. The winner gets Pitino. The winner gets Pitino in Providence, a city where Pitino has coached, where he is still beloved. Even 2 years ago, if you go back to when Pitino was coaching at Iona College, he talked about Providence as a place he would entertain going back. Like, he was still talking about that city some 25, 30-plus years later. So I think this is going to be a very pro-St. John's crowd, and that cinema is going to be a delight to the national audience. Who comes out of that? I still think it's St. John's. Ultimately, though, I think Florida's got the best chance to get to San Antonio.
I mean, he's got a hell of a case as, like, just from a success standpoint, as the best coach of the last. I mean, he wins everywhere, like, and almost immediately. Patino does. It's unbelievable.
He wins everywhere, and if you listen, I came up the ranks as a coach. A young kid wanted to coach, started coaching, and he's the guy you study when you're trying to learn about like individual improvement. You study Pitino. When you're trying to learn about pressing, you study Pitino. Ironically, because they don't shoot a lot of threes this year, he was one of the first coaches to really embrace that. So you go back to Louisville, he won playing zone. So he's won in different ways. I agree with you. He's a historic coach and one of the truly all-time greats.
All right, Adam. In the East, it's the story that I suppose. I mean, we've been hearing about Cooper Flagg since he was like 13. He gets banged up in the ACC game, but here he is. Duke is the one. They won the ACC anyway. Do they get a coronation all the way through the East?
It depends how healthy he is. I mean, they won the ACC barely after almost giving away that lead against North Carolina. They will not win the NCAA without a healthy Cooper Flagg. I don't know that they will get to San Antonio without a healthy Cooper Flagg. And I know what everybody's going to say. Everybody's going to say, oh, the reports say he's healthy. Well, let me tell you what I know, and that's no one does a better job of controlling media narrative than Duke. And John Shire may be a young coach, but he has learned from the best. And so I'm just telling you, we have no idea how Cooper Flagg's. Hopefully it's great because he deserves a chance to finish off this story. He's got a chance to be only the third player in history to be both the college basketball player of the year and the first pick in the NBA draft. Anthony Davis and Zion Williamson being the only other two to do that. If you add a national championship on top of it, it's that much more special. So it's a great story. He's not only met expectations, he's exceeded them. But Duke can't win it all unless he is 100%. So it is certainly a key variable to watch.
All right, we'll finish in the Midwest. What is your read on that bracket?
Well, I tell you what, I think it's got a chance to be the bracket with the most Cinderellas. Like when I was doing my bracket, and I'm looking at it, and you got different ones there, like McNeese against Clemson. We talked about that. Will Wade playing his alma mater. That's an interesting one to me. High Point against Purdue. Alan Huss has a top 25 offense in the country. That one's an interesting one to me. I think Xavier, if they can beat Texas tonight, may have a path to winning a couple games because Illinois has been Jekyll and Hyde all season long. That's interesting. Utah State, UCLA in the 7-10. That one too. And then Kentucky. Kentucky is a 3 seed. And let me be clear, Mark Pope has done a phenomenal job. But he's played with his third-string point guard, starting with the ball in his hands and playing 30 minutes for the last month. It's not getting enough national media attention. Lamont Butler is going to try and play, but if he can't go, they are vulnerable. So there's a lot of these interesting first-week storylines in the Midwest to really dive into.
Adam, really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, there he goes. Adam Finkelstein, college basketball insider at CBS Sport, director of scouting at 24/7. You're officially endorsed. 3 things. We'll do our Final Four national champions coming up next as well. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic.
This Ohio State football spring practice report is brought to you locally on The Fan by Roosters and by your Ohio Kubota dealers.
Ohio State football spring practice report.
In his preseason Ohio State spring practice press conference, Buckeye head coach Ryan Day was asked about the Scarlet and Gray bringing on Matt Patricia to coordinate the defense.
I felt like Matt was that guy for a lot of reasons. I think the first one is his experience. Coaching 19 years in the NFL. He's coached in 6 Super Bowls, has 3 Super Bowl rings. But also, pairing him with Tim Walton as a co-coordinator, pairing him with Larry Johnson, Matt Guerrieri, James Laurinaitis. That was important to have continuity. And so part of that was having somebody that was willing to work with the guys that were in the room. That was very important. And I just want to make sure that I really praise the guys in that room. Having Tim Walton as a co-coordinator there is a huge part of our defense.
This report was brought to you by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center and by Weber Grills. I'm Matt Andrews on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Imagine a tailgate, the heat of the flame, the sizzle of the burger, the squeeze of the ketchup. Grilling is essential to tailgating as the game itself. Weber Grills are there in the hours, minutes, and even seconds before kickoff. Before the best damn band in the land plays the battle cry, signaling it's time to take the field. Weber is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. This season, Weber created an officially licensed, limited edition Ohio State grill inspired by the iconic Buckeye helmets. Find the best damn grill in the land at local Ohio retailers.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Cover more ground with the fast, durable Kubota Sidekick, featuring a gas-powered engine that delivers a top speed of 40 miles per hour, best-in-class acceleration and handling with cargo, and the strength to haul what needs hauling, all backed by a 2-year, 1,000-hour warranty. Get more done right with the Kubota Sidekick. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
Common Man here. I take my job as endorser for Germain Lexus very seriously. I want to make sure that every Lexus on the lot meets my expectations. That's why I personally sit in each one. I massage the leather. Sometimes I take a nap in the back seat. If that's not a selling point, I don't know what is. Deal time. Lease the 2025 ES350 for as low as $409 per month, or get 3.49% financing up to 60 months on their most popular new Lexus models. 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton. Check them out online, GermainLexus.com.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The friends are the guests and listeners. Reeser and Baker just work here.
Back to work. Back to work. Everybody, work, 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 work.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, what do we have on the poll today, Reese?
The Daily Fan Poll, which you can find at 971 The Fan on Twitter, asks, how much of the men's NCAA tournament will you watch? Your options are every game, some of it, only the Final Four, and none. 63% say you're going to watch some of it. 20% say you're watching every game. 13% say none of it. And 2% say only the Final Four.
I do not believe the percent that say none of it. How could you even avoid it if you wanted to? There's just no way. It's on everywhere. There's no way you could avoid it. So I don't believe you. I do not believe you're telling the real truth. All right, time for your officially endorsed on this First Friday.
Bishop and Friends present First Friday, officially endorsed, because everyone deserves 2 Fridays.
You drink for the wrong reasons. My generation, we drink because it's good, because it feels better than unbuttoning your collar, because we deserve it. We drink because it's what men do.
All right. We missed this on St. Patrick's Day. We're going to give it to you now. We've done it every year we've done the show. This is the former master brewer at the Guinness, the Guinness place over in the Ireland. This is how to properly pour a Guinness.
Now, to pour the perfect pint, there's 6 steps. The first one is to take a nice, clean, branded glass. Use the Harp logo here as your target. The second step, which is the 45-degree angle, aim the spout for the back of the Harp. The third step, nice and slow, allow the liquid bounce off the back of the Harp. You'll hear that sound. Keep the glass at an angle so the liquid comes to the bottom of the Harp. Slowly straighten the glass, and the liquid comes to the top of the Harp. You stop. Step 4. Allow it to cascade and surge. Allow it to come in alive in front of the customer. They want to see this. They want to see it form. They want to see it settle. What is happening here is the nitrogen bubbles that are in solution are coming away from the beer. That one looks just about right. And as you can see, the head is formed between the top and bottom of the Harp, and the white logo has the Guinness behind it. So step 5, take it back, push the tap away. It opens it a little slower so the beer doesn't come in at too high a speed. And you create that perfectly domed pint. Present that to your fantastic customer. Look him in the eye so he can recognize you just crafted perfection. And step 6, standing proud, looking to the horizon, bring that elbow up. You're going to take a quick sip, pull the liquid through under the head, and watch that flavor explode. Sweetness at the front, roastiness at the side, and bitterness as it goes down the back of the throat. Smooth, cascading.
I mean, that's Fergal Murray, and he is. No one enjoys their job more than he enjoyed that one. That's just all time. The cascading and all of it. All right, time for three things on a First Friday. Hit it, guys.
1, 2, 3 things.
All right, so we've got to finish this bracket here. We have our Final Four set. What criteria shall we use to determine our two winners and then our eventual national champion? So just to catch everybody up, it's Auburn, Colorado State on one side. Auburn came out. That was Coach's show that I would want to host. Colorado State was drone shot scenery. So they come out of that region. Baylor was Scott Drew handling our money. And Tennessee was mascot fight to the death. So there you go. All right. So what do we want to do here?
I think we could use all of them in our first Final Four matchup between Auburn and Colorado State. Let's start with the coaches' financial advisability. Who would you trust with your money more, Bruce Pearl or Nico Medev?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I mean, it'd be a roller coaster with Pearl. I don't know anything about the other guy. Pearl, at least, I feel like I could enjoy some cocktails with. Give me Auburn. Give me Pearl on that one.
All right, so he leads 1-0 right now. Drone shot appealability. Auburn Colorado or Fort State. Collins?
Yeah, Fort Collins.
All right, mascot fight to the death. A ram or a tiger?
Tiger.
All right, and finally...
Their ram's little, too. I mean, that'd be prey for a tiger.
The coaches show hostability.
Now, there you go. So right. Auburn is going to move on. They get it taken care of.
And then
Auburn Tigers move on.
Our second Final Four matchup has Baylor taking on Tennessee. Baylor, the 9 seed out of East, and then Tennessee, the 2 seed from the Midwest. We'll start with the financial advisability. Scott Drew, Rick Barnes.
Man,
I think they'd both be good.
Tie. I think they both would be fine.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's a tie. I think you can either way. You can go either way there.
Let's then go with drone shot appealability. Knoxville or Waco?
Knoxville's pretty. All
right.
I've not been to Waco. There's a guy I used to work with at Channel 10 named David Wilkinson who worked in Waco, and he did not speak so kindly of it. I also think of Koresh anytime I think of Waco, so I feel like Knoxville would win that.
And then drone shot appealability, we said Knoxville.
Mm-hmm. We said Knoxville, so they have a 1.
Mascot fight to the death ability, a tiger, a bear, or a volunteer.
It's the weaponry.
All right.
It's going to be the weaponry.
That's Tennessee and Auburn in the national championship game.
So you're saying we've got a chance here?
Well, I would. Who in the hell would want this? Like, who would want Auburn and Tennessee in the final?
Greg Sankey.
But it could happen, right?
Oh, no. We don't need this. I don't need this.
All right, let's start with coaches' financial advisability. Bruce Pearl or Rick Barnes?
Not Pearl, Rick Barnes.
Rick Barnes.
Sure. Barnes for sure. Yeah.
Drone shot appealability. Auburn, Alabama. Knoxville, Tennessee.
It's Knoxville.
Mascot fight to the death ability.
Well, save that because that's going to be the final push. But coach's show, I contend, maybe I'm misreading this. I was thinking about this in terms of Pearl. How many college coaches in America would I rather host a coach's show for than Bruce Pearl?
Sam Pittman, and that's the list.
Pittman?
I think Coach Cal would be pretty good.
Cal's great. Cal's really nice.
Lane Kiffin?
Lane Kiffin would be fun. It would have been Leach. God rest his soul. Mike Leach would have been the home run. You got to have some sense of humor. I mean, Pearl is on the Mount Rushmore of coaches shows you'd host just for a hell of a good time. I think he's absolutely on the list. I think very top of the list.
I think a couple young guys in football, at least, Dillingham and Lashley. I bet they would be good coaches shows. They would be fun.
Lashley would be a good time. Yeah. You got to have that. So I think Pearl is at the very, very top of that list. So I just, the more we thought about that, he was such an overwhelming winner there. So we'll go Pearl there, but then the death blow is going to be...
Comes down to a tiger or a volunteer.
It's got to be the damn volunteers. It's got to be.
So we have selected the Tennessee Volunteers as our national champion.
The
gross.
Fighting Felix Akparas.
How many points are going to be scored in the national championship? We need it as a tiebreaker for our 971 The Fan 10 TV bracket challenge, which you can still do.
If these two teams, they had to have played.
Oh, more than likely,
a
at
couple
least
of times,
once.
right?
At least we got a game out of this. But
Let me just see what's happened in the two matchups with Tennessee and Auburn. Tennessee beat Auburn in the SEC tournament last week.
I remember Tennessee beat Auburn during the middle of the year, too, when they were number 1.
Well, and they beat them last week in the SEC tournament. Are they like 3-0 against them? All right, so Auburn, Tennessee. Auburn beat them at Auburn 53-51. And then they won. So they only played twice. Auburn beat them at their place, and then Tennessee beat Auburn by 5 last weekend in the semifinals of the SEC tournament. So the score, let's go low scoring on it, because it was 70-65, and the other one was 53-51. So let's go like 138.
Done.
Or something like that. All right, so Tennessee over Auburn. There you go. What a job. What a job. All right, boys, keep it between the navigational beacons over the next week or so as I am out. Godspeed for me on the travels. I'm not optimistic. I did settle on, by the way, I'm going to do valet. I'm taking it out of the driver's hands. We're gonna valet it and deal with that. That seems like the surest thing. So that puts my mind at a little bit of ease. But enjoy your first Friday, kids. We'll be back after spring break. I'll be back after spring break. The boys will take care of you for the next week or so. So thank you so much for everybody always for listening. Rothman and Ice is coming up next. We are back tomorrow. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Matty Ice has a large tattoo on his calf of LeBron eating a lion. I have nothing else to say. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
At Meijer, we work hard to bring more of the good life to your life, so you can bring home more perfectly plump and flavorful produce picked for precise freshness, beautifully marbled beyond brag-worthy certified Angus beef, and more must-have money-saving M-Perks rewards. Because saving more on local favorites is good, but bringing home more of what you love in every trip, that's the good life. We do more to make life a good deal better at Meijer.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Spring forward, Columbus, with the Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling Services. We're here to thaw you out with this limited time offer. Get up to $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer is too good to pass up. The Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling now together to serve you better with $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer won't last. Call us today, 614-232-2222. That's 614-232-2222.
The best matchup is you in a new Kia from Coughlin Kia. Get into a new Kia now with $0 down. Get 0% financing on select new Kias and make 0 payments for 3 months on any new Kia in stock. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
0% for 72 equals $13.89 per 1,000 financed on Nero EV, EV6, and EV9 with approved credit through Kia Motor Finance. 90 days deferred payments until June 2025. Qualified manufacturer incentives to dealer. Prior sales excluded. No security deposit. Residency restrictions may apply. Offers cannot be combined. See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/25.
Hi, Kevin. How's my engine doing?
Well, you tell me, little lady.
What?
Ma'am, an engine is delicate. It's got a lot of parts rubbing together.
Oh, is that so?
Lube her up real nice, and she'll purr like a kitty cat.
How do you know so much about engines?
Well, I spent a lot of time under that hood.
Babe, she is running hot. Let's go. And next time, I get to play the mechanic.
Rev up the romance with Lion's Den, the official store of pleasure, passion, and romance.
1-800-GOT-JUNK makes space for possibilities.
When our clean, shiny truck arrives, it's the sign of a new beginning, a clean start, a breath of fresh air.
All the animals start giggling, a rainbow appears, and music fills the air.
Your best friend calls with happy news. Every table has fresh flowers on it, and your nights are full of candlelight.
We bring the springtime.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.